Chapter 479. You must be joking. The Thunder region is so huge. If you want a share of everything that lands in here, then no one would be able to get anything. If you have a solution, then I would love to hear it. The Black Thunder King did not try to pressure the two, so he threw the problem to the Shining King and the Beast King. The Shining King said, "This axe is mine, and I can compensate you with other things." Huh. The Black Thunder King sneered and said to the Beast King, "Beast King, do you agree?" "Of course not. I know that you have a lot of good things, but I do not want them. On the other hand, I can compensate for your loss. I will take the axe." The Beast King liked heavy weapons the most, and the axe would be perfect for him. So, there was no way he would agree with the Shining King's solution. The Shining King said angrily, "Then what do you think we should do?" The Black Thunder King said, "Beast King, you have trained the earth element Shen Yuan. I have 2 earth yuan crystals that I got from the sealed dust star. They should be enough to increase your cultivation by 40 years. 40 years of cultivation is not a small amount. Right now, your cultivation should be no more than 300 years, right?" "What? You have 2 earth yuan crystals?" The Beast King was shocked. The cultivation of a life and death realm warrior would start from the life and death realm. Normally, when one had just reached the life and death realm, their cultivation would not be more than 100 years. Even Xianhu had only had 80 to 90 years of cultivation. When the Beast King reached the life and death realm, his cultivation was even lower, only 30 years. He had trained for 220 years, and had also found some treasures that could increase his cultivation, so he only had about 290 years of cultivation. Therefore, 40 years of cultivation was indeed not a small amount. It would be enough for his battling power to increase a lot. Although it would not be as powerful as the extreme rank axe, if he tried to fight for it, he would not have more than 30% chance of getting it. "What do you think?" The Black Thunder King was confident. The Beast King laughed, "Black Thunder King, it would be useless to take care of me. Even if I quit, there is still the Shining King for you to take care of." The Black Thunder King shook his head, "You do not need to worry about this. As long as you promise not to get involved, these 2 earth yuan crystals will be yours. I was planning to exchange them with the other kings anyway. There are a few king warriors who train the earth element in this true spirit continent." The Beast King took a deep breath and laughed, "All right, I promise you. The axe belongs to you too, I won't participate." "Great. Here you go." The Black Thunder King waved his hand and threw out 2 crystal stones that were shining with a muddy yellow halo. Reaching out to catch the earth yuan crystal, the Beast King examined it carefully. It was indeed an earth yuan crystal. He grinned and said, "Aren't you afraid that I will go back on my word? I believe you would not do that. Plus, I, the Black Thunder King, am not that easy to fool." Hatred rarely appeared between king warriors, and once it did, it would be a fight to the death. Therefore, the Black Thunder King did not think that the Beast King was ready to fight to the death with him. "Hee, you have won. How could I, the Beast King, go back on my word?" The Beast King glanced at the axe with pity, then waved his hand. All of the people from the Imperial Beast Martial School were covered in a yellow halo, backing out hundreds of miles with him. Meanwhile, he himself sat in the midair, not planning to leave yet. The Black Thunder King did not care about the Beast King's attitude. He turned his head and looked at the Shining King. "Shining King, why don't you back off now?" "Black Thunder King, don't push it." The Shining King froze for a second, then became enraged. The Black Thunder King had sent away the Beast King, but did not plan to compensate him. Although he had already prepared himself to not accept the compensation, he could not accept the Black Thunder King's attitude of ignoring him. A king warrior's dignity could not be challenged, even if the other party was also a king warrior. Damn. This Black Thunder King is so evil. Luckily, he chose me first. The Beast King made a face. The Black Thunder King's power was way more powerful than any of them. Without him, the Shining King would obviously not be his opponent, and without the Shining King, he would not be his opponent either. If the Black Thunder King had chosen the Shining King first, then he would not be able to get any compensation, nor would he be able to get the axe. The people from the Shining Martial School were also feeling humiliated. However, The king warrior's dignity was not something they could judge, so no one dared to show their anger. The Black Thunder King sneered, "I have pushed it too far. Last time, you and the Blue King had tricked me, and I have not gotten even with you yet. Today, I will take care of both the old and the new. The thing that I want, you will not be able to stop it." The Shining King did not say another word as his body turned into a beam of light, shooting toward the axe. Both of his eyes shot out beams of thunder. The Black Thunder King threw out a palm attack, breaking the beam of light and knocking the axe into the air. He then reached out his left hand, trying to grab it. Shoo! The beam of light flashed again as the Shining King's hand attack shattered the Zhenyuan and will of the Black Thunder King on the axe. The two continued to fight around the axe. The surreal space was like a broken mirror, cracking and making a loud noise. Extreme Emperor Shocking Fist Art. Up in the sky, the Black Thunder King's roar was like a world-destroying thunder. He performed an attack that Jing Aoshuan had used before. However, when it landed in the hands of the Black Thunder King, its power had increased by hundreds or even thousands of times. The surreal space had been pierced through, causing space fragments to tumble everywhere. Just a low-rank profound martial art. Break. Light of the Shining King. The Shining King's body was like a small red sun, exploding with an endless light. The light immediately destroyed the fist power of the Black Thunder King and covered him within. Hee. Stupid. The Extreme Emperor Shocking Fist Art is only used to exhaust your ace attack. 5 Thunder Print. The Black Thunder King reached out his left hand that was behind his back. He opened his 5 fingers, each of them shooting out a dark blue light print. Wherever the light print reached, the light disappeared. You are the stupid one. My Light of the Shining King does not only have martial power, but also speed. The extreme rank axe is mine now. The Shining King traveled through the light that had not disappeared yet. His speed was extremely fast, as if he was the light, and the light was him. If I say that you are stupid, then you are. 5 Thunder Print. Seal. Pap. In front of the Shining King, the 5 light prints suddenly stopped, forming a sealed area filled with thunder and lightning, blocking his way out. Anger flashed through the Shining King's eyes as he waved his hand in the air. A huge black hole appeared in the surreal space, and his whole body jumped in. However, in the deepest part of the surreal space, there were also thunder and lightning. Of course, it was much weaker than the outside world, and could not threaten him at all. Just as he was about to appear in the surreal space near the axe, a huge hand pushed him in again. Black Thunder King, you bastard. Don't think that you can get it so easily. Swoosh. The light formed into a chain and dragged the axe in. All right. This time, I will beat you until you are scared. The Black Thunder King stepped out and entered the deepest part of the surreal space. When the two of them disappeared, the world returned to normal. Warm sunlight shone down, and the surroundings were in a mess. There were some places where the Earth's crust had been pierced through, and surging magma continuously splashed out. It was bright red and incomparably hot, and it was a shocking sight. Close. The Beast King landed on the lava, and the brown light around his body suddenly expanded. The cracks on the ground closed up quickly, and the broken crust started to recover at a shocking speed. He then said without turning his head, "You guys do what you need to do. I will go check it out." After saying that, he jumped into the deepest part of the surreal space. After the 3 king warriors had left, the rest of the people looked at each other. So horrifying. This is the battle of the king warriors. It is so destructive that even the Earth's crust has been punctured. None of their attacks landed on the ground. They were all caused by the aftershocks. If they had attacked directly, I wonder what would have happened. What should we do next? Enter the parallel space, of course. There are fewer and fewer king warriors' corpses in the parallel space battlefield. It seems like the area where we came in has the most. Plus, some of the king warriors' corpses don't even have spirit stones in them. The broken corpses were endless. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng were standing on a dark red plateau with a black aura above their heads. Murong Qingcheng said, "It is not bad. This parallel space battlefield's environment is special, and even the corpses have been preserved. Otherwise, after hundreds of thousands of years, there would not be anything left." Boom. While the two were talking, the surreal space in front of them was filled with thunder and light. Heh! There are thunder and dazzling light in this parallel space battlefield? Yi Chen looked surprised. A black light flashed in Murong Qingqing's eyes as she shook her head and said, "No, that surreal space is about to shatter. Someone is fighting. Who could have such a huge battle?" Boom. Just as Yi Chen finished his sentence, the surreal space twisted and shattered. Two human figures jumped into the parallel space battlefield. One of them was wrapped in endless thunder and lightning, while the other looked like a small dark red sun. Soon, a powerful willpower covered them, making them lose their sense of the environment. Not good. It is two life and death realm warriors. The two gasped and backed out at the same time. However, no matter how hard they tried, they could not get out of the dark environment. It seemed like they were in a starry sky. Crack. The hill-sized axe followed the two into the parallel space battlefield, stabbing into the ground. Shining King, you are not their opponent. It is not too late to give up now. Otherwise, your yuan qi will be severely damaged, and your cultivation will decrease drastically. The Black Thunder King scanned around and was slightly surprised. It was a parallel space battlefield, which was extremely hard to find. It must be because of the fact that the parallel space had opened automatically, which was why they were able to come in through the surreal space. Otherwise, they would not be able to do this. Taking a deep breath, the Black Thunder King looked back at the Shining King and said seriously. The Shining King came back to his senses and sneered, "Black Thunder King, who are you trying to scare? This time, even if it costs me a lot of my yuan qi, I will take this axe. Don't even think about it. Since you do not want to do it the hard way, then don't blame me for being cruel." 5 Thunder Print. Explode. The Black Thunder King opened both of his fingers, and 10 dark blue light prints shot out, exploding in the air and blowing the Shining King hundreds of miles away. Woo! 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 It was unknown if it was because the battle between the two was too loud, but the black chi in the sky started to become chaotic. It started to converge at a certain point, forming a black funnel that connected the sky and the ground. The funnel continued to spin, shooting out black lightning bolts while the black light inside was almost solid. What is going on? The Black Thunder King stopped fighting and turned his head to look at the black funnel. The Shining King also took back his angry eyes, looking confused. The surreal space had been shattered, and the Beast King walked in. Seeing that the two had stopped fighting, he was curious. Only when he saw the black funnel did he realize what was going on. Crack! Below the dark funnel, the ground suddenly exploded, and a giant hand covered in scales and sharp nails broke out of the ground. This demon claw was way too big. It was more than 100 meters tall, and every finger was like a jade pillar that supported the sky, surrounded by black arcs of light. Chapter 480. The moment the demonic claw stretched out, a terrifying and evil aura that could destroy one's soul spread out. The corpses and bones in the surroundings exploded into powder. The mountain couldn't withstand the pressure of the aura and turned into ashes, dispersing all of a sudden. This chi was so powerful that it seemed to be boundless. What? The chi of an ancient demon king? The Black Demon King was shocked. As a life and death realm warrior, he needed to know about the demons that were even more powerful than the humans in the ancient times. This demon claw was not a beast's claw, but a demon's claw, which was a branch of the demons. They were known for their huge bodies, and correspondingly, the demon power inside their bodies was also proportional to their body size. At their peak, any ancient demon king's demon power would be hundreds or even thousands of times more than life and death realm warriors of the same level. Although the ancient demon kings did not train martial arts, could not understand the profound, and did not have a powerful willpower, and could only fight with their bodies and demon power, in a one-on-one battle, or even 10-on-1 battle, the one who would die would be the human, not the ancient demon king. If it were not for the fact that there were too many humans and demons, the ones who would lose in the ancient times would not be the demons, but the humans. What is this? Hundreds of miles away, Yi Chen could clearly see the 100-meter-tall demon claw and feel the horrifying chi coming from it. He suspected that if he did not have the master-level sword intent, his soul would be destroyed immediately. Murong Qingqing took a deep breath and said with a serious tone, It is an ancient demon, a branch of the demons. I did not expect it to be sealed in the parallel space battlefield for hundreds of thousands of years. Ancient demon? Didn't they say that life and death realm warriors could only live for 1,000 years? No matter how long the demons could live, they should not be able to live for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Yi Chen was confused. Demons live 10 times longer than humans, so the demon kings can live for 10,000 years. But the ancient demon kings with low intelligence can live even longer than the ancient demon kings. Some can live for 30,000 years, and some can live for 50,000 years. Normally, after hundreds of thousands of years, any ancient demon king would die of old age. But the sealing power has weakened the effect of time. So, hundreds of thousands of years might only be tens of thousands of years for this ancient demon king. Murong Qingcheng knew demons very well, so she explained everything to him. A look of shock appeared on Yi Chen's face, but after thinking about it, he realized that something was wrong, so he continued, the power of sealing can weaken the power of time. Doesn't that mean that human kings can seal themselves and live for thousands of years? Murong Qingcheng shook her head. Besides weakening the power of time, the sealing power will also weaken the target's cultivation. If a human king is sealed for thousands of years, no, just a few hundred years, their cultivation will definitely weaken until they die. Only a demon king can survive, because a demon king's demonic power is hundreds or even thousands of times more than a human king's. In ancient times, the final victory of the human race was due to their control of the sealing power. I see. It was Yi Chen's first time learning high-level information about demons. We are in trouble. There is an ancient demon king sealed here, and after hundreds of thousands of years, the seal should have been loosened a long time ago. The Beast King forced a laugh, then suddenly thought of something. Could it be that he threw out that extreme rank axe on purpose to attract the life and death realm warriors? The shockwaves from the battle between life and death realm warriors would weaken the power of the seal, which would allow him to get out more easily without using up a lot of demonic power. In his sight, one of the Demon King's arms had already reached out, which was thousands of meters long. The Black Thunder King said with a low voice, the loosening of the seal power allowed the Demon King's demonic power to tear open the space through the crack of the seal and throw out an extreme rank weapon. Then, he created a space door and attracted a lot of people in. That black chi had swallowed a lot of people's blood and flesh essence, which replenished the Demon King's body and helped him regain some of his vitality. The Beast King said strangely, are the demons this smart? Although the demons have low intelligence, it does not mean that they do not have it. This kind of attack is very normal. Unfortunately, we did not know that there was an ancient Demon King sealed here. Let's cut the crap and start the battle. This Demon King has been tortured by the seal power for hundreds of thousands of years, so its demonic power must have been damaged. We cannot let him out no matter what. Otherwise, once he swallows enough blood and flesh essence, his demonic power will recover completely. The Black Thunder King did not care about the axe anymore as he suggested. Yeah, the demons are different from humans. They can recover by swallowing the blood and flesh essence of living beings. Shining King, now is not the time to be angry. You know the rules of the human race. The Beast King glanced at the Shining King. The Shining King said with a cold voice, I do not need your reminder. I know what to do. Boom, boom, boom. The three of them were all life and death realm warriors, and their combined attacks had shattered the space around them, landing on the Demon King's arm. All of a sudden, that thousands of meters long arm started to shake. Pieces of flesh disappeared one after another, as if it had been bitten by a giant. Roar. The ground cracked open, and the roar of the ancient Demon King came out of the ground. One could see with naked eyes that the flesh on the broken arm started to move and recover quickly. In the next second, the wounded area was as good as new. However, the chi of the ancient Demon King had weakened a bit, which meant that his Yuan chi had been damaged. 5 Thunder Print. Explode. The Black Thunder King's attack was the most powerful. His 2 hands shot out 10 dark blue light prints, exploding on the shoulder of the ancient Demon King, bringing up a lot of dust. The Shining King did not want to be outdone either, as he continued to attack the ancient Demon King's arm with his shining light. A sizzling sound could be heard without an end. The Beast King's attacks were extremely powerful as he continued to attack the ancient Demon King's arm. Even the bones there had been broken. Dong! All of a sudden, the head of the ancient Demon King popped out of the ground. The skull that was covered in bone pieces locked onto the Black Thunder King, who was the most powerful of them all. It then shot out a beam of black light wave, which was way too fast and too sudden. Even the Black Thunder King did not manage to dodge it in time, and was scratched by it. Half of his body was covered in blood, and his bones were all over the place. The Black Thunder King gasped as he cursed with a low voice, "Damn it! This one attack has cost me at least half a year of cultivation." Once one reached the life and death realm, their Zhenyuan and flesh would merge into one. Therefore, it would take a lot of Zhenyuan to recover. The more serious the injury, the more Zhenyuan it would take. And, the life and death realm warrior's Zhenyuan cultivation was way too horrifying, so it would take a long time to recover. Half a year of cultivation would take the Black Thunder King a week to recover. Of course, if he had some rare treasures, it would be different. While they were talking, the wound on the Black Thunder King's body started to heal quickly. There was not a single flaw on his body, as if he had never been wounded before. What a horrifying healing power! Whether it was the ancient Demon King or the Black Thunder King, their healing power was unbelievably powerful. If it were Yi Chen with this kind of injury, he would have been on the verge of death already, unless he could train his undying body to the first level. In that case, perhaps he would feel better. Demon, eat my hammer. The Beast King's hammer weapon was a semi-extreme rank 1. The hammer light spun around before landing on the ancient Demon King's head. Chin. Sparks flew everywhere as the ancient Demon King broke off one of his horns. The burning sparks had even burned through the ground. The lower part of the ancient Demon King's body could be seen clearly, as well as the 6-star sealing spell that had wrapped around his body. A gap had appeared on the spell, and the ancient Demon King had indeed climbed out from it. Chapter 481. The ancient Demon King felt the pain, so his other arm reached out of the ground and slapped the Beast King thousands of miles away. That black light had sliced through the Beast King's protective Zhenyuan layer and left a serious wound on his left rib and chest, shattering all of his bones. Shining King, what are you waiting for? Otherwise, I will lose my 3 years of cultivation. The Beast King showed his teeth, using his Zhenyuan to heal his wounds as he yelled at the Shining King. Shining Blade. The Shining King's whole body was wrapped up by the dark red light, which shrunk and turned into the shape of a blade, piercing through the ancient Demon King's neck. Swoosh! Demon blood spilled everywhere as the ancient Demon King held onto his neck and groaned. 5 Thunder Print. Seal. No one knew when, but the Black Thunder King had already arrived above the ancient Demon King. He opened his 5 fingers and pressed down in the air. All of a sudden, 5 dark blue light prints appeared around the ancient Demon King's head. The rolling thunder tornado continued to eat away at his demon power and physical body, leaving him no time to fight back. After being in so much pain for so long, the ancient Demon King had completely lost his mind. Both of his hands pressed on the ground as his mountain-like muscles swelled up. His body suddenly jumped out of the ground and escaped from the seal. Boom! As soon as the ancient Demon King got out of the seal, the dark funnel turned into a shuttle and merged with his body, increasing his demon power drastically and increasing his battling power to another level. With a loud noise, the thunder tornado was torn apart, and the Black Thunder King backed out. The ancient Demon King turned his head and suddenly reached out his palm, trying to grab the Shining King who was flying at an extremely fast speed. The Shining King was shocked, so he quickly jumped into the surreal space. However, the ancient Demon King's palm was like a Buddha's 5-finger mountain. It followed him into the surreal space and grabbed onto the Shining King. No. The Shining King was extremely frightened. He had not trained to the level of flesh and blood regeneration yet, so he would not be afraid of king warriors at the same level or even one level higher than him. However, this ancient Demon King was from the ancient era, where king warriors were everywhere. Their battling power was unbelievably powerful. Plus, the ancient Demon King was already dozens of times more powerful than human king warriors. Even if his cultivation had been damaged to the point where it was not even 1/10 of his peak, it would still be able to threaten his life. The eyes of the Black Thunder King flickered. In fact, he did not care about the life and death of the Shining King at all, since it was none of his business. However, the human race had their own rules. When encountering the demons, they had to work together. Whoever did not do their best would be punished. Not to mention the Black Thunder King, even the Supreme Shu King would not dare to violate it. Whoever violated it would be going against the entire human race, and their death would not be worth it. Plus, the ancient Demon King's power had been greatly damaged. Once he devoured the Shining King's flesh and blood essence, his power would become even more horrifying. Looking at the extreme rank axe not far away, the Black Thunder King made a grabbing motion, and the axe flew into his hand. Break it. The soul mark in the axe had already disappeared with the passage of time, so the Black Thunder King did not have to spend much effort to leave his own mark on it. Holding the axe in his hand, the Black Thunder King yelled and threw out an axe attack onto the demonic arm that was grabbing the Shining King. Crack! The 1,000-meter-long arm of the Shining King was cut off immediately. Demon blood poured out like a flood, pouring down and shattering mountains one after another. Awoo! The damage the axe had dealt to the Demon King was too great. Regrowing a broken limb was indeed the realm of immortality, but regrowing a broken limb consumed a lot of demonic power. No one wanted to regrow a broken limb every day. If that happened, it wouldn't be long before their cultivation would be exhausted and they would become extremely weak. Having escaped from death, the Shining King was still scared. But, seeing the extreme rank axe in the Black Thunder King's hand, his face did not look good again. His power was not as powerful as the Black Thunder King before, and now that the latter had that axe, he would not be able to compete with him at all. Therefore, he could only suffer in silence. Die, die, die. After being sealed for hundreds of thousands of years, the ancient Demon King's mind was very unstable. He kept mumbling the word die as his remaining arm formed a fist and threw out a punch toward the Black Thunder King. The Black Thunder King held the axe with both of his hands, trying his best to defend. The next second, an earth-shaking sound was heard as a huge hole appeared in the space between the two. The Black Thunder King dragged his axe and was blown thousands of miles away. Shining King, you also have a semi-extreme rank weapon. Don't hide it anymore. Take it out for the ancient Demon King. The Beast King did not dare to move alone, so he said to the Shining King. The Shining King had a dark look on his face as a 7-meter-long iron feather wing appeared on his back. The chi coming from it was different from normal semi-extreme rank weapons, but it was actually a part of an extreme rank weapon. It could increase his speed to another level. Before, he thought that he was fast enough, so he did not take it out. But now, he did not think so anymore. Shoo! With the help of the iron feather wing, the Shining King's body started to move, as if he did not exist in this world at all, which drove the ancient Demon King crazy. Beast King, let's go. The Black Thunder King and the Beast King stood side by side. All right. Seeing the Black Thunder King holding the extreme rank axe, the Beast King did not feel unhappy at all. He had at least gotten 2 Earth Yuan crystals, while the Shining King had gotten nothing. All of a sudden, the two attacked toward the ancient Demon King from the left and right. Legendary cut. The Beast King's hammer attack was extremely powerful, as if there were dozens of mountains compressed inside the small hammer. That one attack was enough to make the ancient Demon King dizzy and bleed out. 5 thunder cut. 5 light prints accumulated on the edge of the axe as the Black Thunder King roared. He threw out a blow and broke open the ancient Demon King's neck. The aggressive thunder even drilled into the ancient Demon King's body, continuing to destroy its body and demon power. Its killing power was unimaginably powerful. Dong! The ground started to shake, and mud waves shot up into the sky. The ancient Demon King did not want to waste its demon power to heal its wound and its missing right arm. With its huge size, it stomped on the ground and broke through the siege, rushing toward the unknown entrance. It was not stupid, and it knew that it would die even worse if it went deeper into the surreal space. Only in the human world would there be enough creatures for it to devour. Don't let it get away. The extreme rank axe in the Black Thunder King's hand enlarged and landed heavily on the ancient Demon King's right foot. The ancient Demon King did not have time to react, and its body fell onto the ground, creating a huge demon-shaped pit that was hundreds of meters deep. This is the battle between king warriors. It is indeed hard to kill. Watching all of this, Yi Chen could not help but sigh. Below the life and death realm, no one dared to get wounded too badly. If the wound was too serious, it would mean a drop in their battling power and life force. With just a little bit of carelessness, they would die and cease to exist. However, the battle between king warriors was a long-lasting battle. When the power gap was not that big, it would be extremely hard to kill the other in a short period of time. After all, with the immortal body, one would be able to maintain their peak condition at all times, and would only lose a little bit of cultivation. Of course, losing too much cultivation would be a bad thing. Therefore, the ancient demon king had to run. Die. The beast king was not afraid of the ancient demon king anymore. It seemed like the hundreds of thousands of years of being sealed had not only taken out most of the ancient demon king's demon power, but it had also lowered his defense to the lowest point. It should be known that the physical defense of the ancient demon king was just as horrifying, way more powerful than humans. Boom. The ancient demon king's head was smashed deep into the ground, demon blood spilling everywhere. The Shining King seized the opportunity and sliced through the remaining left arm of the ancient demon king, cutting off the entire massive arm. Decapitation. The Black Thunder King was even more ruthless. He lifted up his axe and chopped down with all his strength. With a loud boom, the ground shook, and a mountain-like head was chopped off, flying away. His body spun as the axe in his hand tore apart the sky, leaving a black light arc, completely shattering the head of the Black Thunder King. Dead. Murong Ching Cheng said lightly. Yi Chen said, "Will there be any unforeseen events?" Murong Ching Cheng shook her head. Impossible. The demon beasts have low intelligence. Once they reach the life and death realm, they will only be able to master the first level of the undying body, and the second level of the flesh growth art. Otherwise, when they are at their peak, they would definitely be everyone's nightmare. Yi Chen thought about it and agreed with her. The ancient demon king already had a huge advantage. If they mastered the flesh growth and blood growth, then the ancient humans would not be able to win. Crack. At this moment, the ancient demon king's chest suddenly split open, revealing a pitch-black hole with nothing inside. However, in the next moment, a large amount of mana gathered from the other parts of the ancient demon king's body. The mana gathered together, forming a black ball of mana light. Within the ball of light, there was a constantly flowing black light. This black light was 100 times more condensed than the most resplendent black diamond. It could practically blind people's eyes. Shoo! The black light shot out of the chest, covering thousands of miles in only a second before disappearing into Murong Chingcheng's chest. Demon power essence. The three king warriors yelled out loud. The devil race had a special characteristic. After dying in battle, the devil power essence in their body would enter the body of another devil race. This devil power essence couldn't be used in a short period of time, but after a long time, it would gradually become that devil race's own devil power, increasing its cultivation. The three had never fought against demons before, so they had forgotten about it. The Beast King looked at Murong Ching Cheng with a murderous look and sneered, "Demons cannot exist. Then, she must be a demi-demon with the blood of the demons. Little girl, you have bad luck, since I am an anti-demi-demon. An ant-like being. Just kill her." The Shining King was not happy about the fact that the Black Thunder King had taken the extreme rank axe. He did not dare to go against him, so he decided to take it out on Murong Ching Cheng. She was a demi-demon, and he believed that no one would do anything to him. After all, he was not going to wipe out the entire demi-demon family. Waving his hand casually, a dark red light shot out from the Shining King's hand, covering Murong Chingcheng's body within a second. Yi Chen did not even have the time to blink his eyes, not to mention helping out. Plus, since it was a king warrior attacking, he would not be able to stop it. Seeing that the light was about to devour Murong Chingcheng, a mysterious door suddenly appeared behind Murong Chingcheng. A beautiful figure walked out of it, reaching out a long jade-like palm to block out the attack of the dark red light. Chapter 482. Pop. As the dark red light disappeared, the figure's face appeared in front of everyone's eyes. It was a beautiful young lady who did not look older than 25 years old. Her hair was like a waterfall, reaching all the way to her feet. Her eyes were like stars in the sky, giving off a mysterious vibe. Besides that, there was nothing else that could be seen, and it seemed like it would be hard for anyone to remember her. Xianhu. In fact, this was the first time Yi Chen had seen Xianhu. As for that portrait of Xianhu, the face was blurry, as if it was covered in layers of fog. But, with only one glance, Yi Chen knew that it was Xianhu in front of him. More accurately, it was Xuanho's mental image. The Shining King was shocked. He had not expected that the power behind Murong Qingcheng would be Xianhu. Who Xianhu was? Perhaps everyone in this land knew about her. She had only reached the life and death realm for 20 years, but she already had the power to compete with top king warriors like the Dragon King and the Evil King. If she wanted to protect the demi-demon family, including Shu King, all of the king warriors would have to think twice. After all, Xianhu still had a lot of potential, and no one could guess how far she could go in the end. Xianhu. The Shining King and the other two held their fists together, looking a bit respectful. Xianhu looked at the dead body of the Demon King on the ground and nodded slightly. You guys have done well. The birth of the Demon King has brought a lot of lives. I did not expect that after hundreds of thousands of years, the sealing power still has not worn out this Demon King's demon power. Demons are indeed a race that is above the human race. This is what we should do. The Black Thunder King did not have the aggressiveness he had before. In front of Xianhu, it was not that aggressive at all. Give me some face, don't make it hard for her. Xianhu was talking about Murong Qingcheng. The Black Thunder King said without hesitation, since Xianhu has said so, then we will do it. He's just a junior. It doesn't matter if I kill him or not. The Beast King shrugged. The Shining King nodded quietly. Killing Murong Qingcheng was something that could be done easily for him. If it was not something that could be done easily, and it was not necessary, then he would not bother to do it. Before, it was mostly because of his anger. If there's nothing else, Xianhu, I'll take my leave first. Since the Demon King was dead and the extreme rank axe was in his hands, the Black Thunder King did not care about anything else in the parallel space battlefield. He cupped his fists and said, "Crack." The space was shattered, and the Black Thunder King disappeared. We will also take our leave. The Shining King and the Beast King left one after the other. Waiting until the three of them disappeared from her sight, Xianhu turned around and looked at Murong Qingcheng. You are a demi-devil, and you have the perfect demi-devil bloodline. Your future is bound to be full of disasters. The mysterious pearl I gave you has the effect of locating you 3 times. With the mysterious pearl, I can use its aura to cross the space and cast my will image. After 3 times, the one who will block the disaster for you will no longer be me. Thank you, Xianhu, for saving me. Qingcheng will remember it. Murong Qingcheng frowned. She believed that Xianhu was telling the truth, but she did not know what kind of disasters Xianhu was talking about. Xianhu chuckled. Back then, when I was able to reach the life and death realm, I had received too many favors. Therefore, I want to pay them back one by one. Your demi-devil family, I will try my best to protect you as well. But, your family still has the bloodline of the demons, so there are too many hidden dangers. I have no way of knowing what will happen in the future, so I can only take it one step at a time. No matter what, I will remember Xuanho's favor. Murong Qingcheng knew a little about the hidden dangers of the demi-devil family, and she also knew that those people did not mean to hurt the demi-devil family. Moving her eyes to Yi Chen, Xianhu said curiously, I cannot see through you. Yi Chen shivered, not knowing what Xianhu wanted to say. The last time the Hidden Dragon Ancient City opened, the Dragon King and I were both there. The others could more or less see some signs and potential, but only you, the Dragon King and I could not see through. I think the Dragon King did not take you as his disciple because of this reason. Yi Chen said respectfully, Xianhu is too kind. No, I just cannot see through you. Your past is a piece of fog, and your future is also a piece of fog. Qingcheng is with you, and her body is also stained with this kind of aura. Perhaps, you can help her resist some of the dangers and use your sword to cut off her karma. Yi Chen said, Murong is my friend. When a friend is in trouble, I will naturally do my best to help her. Xianhu continued, you are one of the main characters of this era, and the people around you are not ordinary people. However, you have to be careful of the other main characters. In every era, there will only be one main character, and the others, in the end, will only be supporting characters. Between the main characters and the supporting characters, there will definitely be battles after battles, and in the process of battles, there will inevitably be deaths and injuries. This is something that no one can stop. My sword will not fear anything. Yi Chen's expression was indifferent. He didn't care about the main characters or supporting characters. What he cared about was the brilliance of life. Since the heavens wanted him to come to this world, he would use his own sword and fight until the end, until eternity. The process was what he enjoyed. That's why I can't see through you. Xianhu shook her head. Her Dao could reach the soul directly. Not to mention a small astral-reaching realm warrior. Even if it was a king warrior who had just reached the life and death realm, she would still be able to see through it. However, when it came to Yi Chen, there seemed to be a mysterious power that blocked her observation. She wanted to go around this mysterious power, but she realized that this mysterious power was boundless, and she had almost fallen into it. All right, this is done. We will meet again in the future. Also, this parallel space battlefield is about to collapse. You guys walk in that direction, and you will find the entrance that you came from. Xianhu pointed out a clear path for the two, then stepped into the illusionary door. The door closed and disappeared into the surreal space. Woo! As soon as Xianhu left, Yi Chen let out a breath that he had been holding back. Xianhu did not have any hostility towards him, and she had even tried to hide her aura. But, even though they were so close, Yi Chen still felt a kind of pressure. In front of this pressure, he could not even use his soul power, and the opponent was only a mental projection. Murong Qingcheng was not feeling good either. Anyone who got close to a king warrior would feel the pressure. Even their children would not be able to stay calm in front of a king warrior. This was not affected by anyone, as if it was the rule of the heavens. Even the king warriors could not do anything about it. Deep in the surreal space, 3 human figures were traveling. She is indeed Xianhu. It was only a mental projection, but she was able to take on an attack from the Shining King and bring us a bit of pressure. The Beast King said with admiration. The Shining King said, I did not use all of my power. I know that you did not use all of your power. But, if you did, then it would be Xuanho's mental projection that would arrive. Are you sure you can handle Xuanho's mental projection? The Beast King said with a playful expression. The Shining King was speechless. Killing Murong Qingcheng was something that he could do easily. But, seeing how Xuanho's mental projection had been shattered so easily, it was not hard to imagine how powerful she was. Moreover, the mental projection was even more horrifying, as it was equivalent to 30% of Xuanho's battling power. Plus, he suspected that Murong Qingcheng had the mysterious pearl that only Xianhu had. With the enhancement of the pearl, the mental projection would not lose any battling power just because of the distance. The Black Thunder King said lightly, it is not impossible for us to reach Xuanho's realm. The universe is so mysterious, and it is not something that one person can understand. As long as we have the chance, we can also become the top king warriors. Whether it is the sky or the land, the opportunities are everywhere. The Black Thunder King had always been prideful, because he was also an amazing martial genius in his generation. Otherwise, he would not have been able to surpass the Shining King, who was twice his age, and reach his current realm when he was only 100 years old. Crack, crack. The sound of something breaking was heard, catching the three's attention. Not good. The breaking of the seal and the commotion caused by the battle are too huge. This parallel space that has existed for hundreds of thousands of years could not handle it anymore. It is about to collapse. The three did not have any other thoughts as they broke through the surreal space and entered the parallel space. All 3 of them had disciples in there, and some of them were even the future of their martial institutions. They could not just watch these people die in front of them. There was a space door in the sky, and behind it was a light membrane. It was the entrance, and also the exit. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng went through the light membrane and arrived at the tunnel. There were already slight cracks on the transparent tunnel, which meant that the parallel space was indeed about to collapse. The space storm created by the collapse of a parallel space would tear apart anyone below the life and death realm. Even normal life and death realm warriors would be badly wounded, or even killed. When they walked out of the tunnel, a part of the space door behind them had been broken. Skull-sized space pieces flew everywhere, and one of them shot toward Yi Chen. Break. It was not that Yi Chen had not seen the space power before, but this space piece was made of space power, so it was not much different from the real space power. Using his void-shattering finger art, the space piece exploded and disappeared. Landing on top of a mountain, the two lifted their heads and looked at the collapsing space door. Shoo, shoo, shoo. One figure after another flew out, unable to keep up with the situation. Soon, Jing Aoxuan, Li Xiaoyun, and Chu Zhongtian came out as well. Yi Chen could tell that the aura of the three had become more powerful. It seemed like they had gotten a lot of spirit stones just like him. More and more people flew out, covering the whole mountain. It was not until the Black Thunder King, the Shining King, and the Beast King came out that the space door suddenly exploded, turning into a space turbulence instead of a space piece. Some of the people who did not manage to get out in time were killed instantly, not even having the chance to scream. Let's seal up the gap together. The three looked serious. The space storm was not something to joke about. Once it rushed out through the gap, besides them, no one else would be able to survive. Moreover, their cultivation would be severely damaged as well, and it would take years or even decades for them to recover. Without using their profound sense martial arts, the three of them pushed their Zhenyuan with all of their power, forming a Zhenyuan shield to block up the space door. Pap, pap, pap. The space turbulence kept attacking the Zhenyuan shield, bringing up sparks of light. Gradually, the space turbulence became weaker and weaker, and the space crack disappeared as well. It was like a broken mirror being repaired without a single crack. Chapter 483. Let's go. In the parallel space battlefield, Yi Chen had gained a lot. His spirit body had also been condensed by half. Although his power had not increased directly, it had increased a lot. Sometimes, a powerful defense could turn the tide of a battle. However, he felt that the spirit power inside his body had not been fully consolidated yet, so he had to close up for a while. Yeah. Murong Qingcheng also needed to train, but she had gained a lot more than Yi Chen. The Thunder City was huge, and there were people selling houses every day. Of course, there were also people buying houses as well. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng were one of them, since the restaurants were too noisy and small. It was not a good place to train in. So, buying a house was not too much of a burden for them. Since the luxurious houses in the Thunder City were hard to come by, the two had to split up and buy a slightly smaller house each. Inside the secret room of the house, Yi Chen sat on a clean stone platform with his legs crossed. Outside the true spirit continent is an endless ocean, the zenith sky is a starry sky, and outside the zenith sky is an unknown dark universe. The whole world is way too big, and I am still very weak. I can't even control my own destiny. However, I have to take things one bite at a time, and I have to build my foundation bit by bit. If I don't have a good foundation, it will affect my future achievements. I hope that this plan will work. Once it succeeds, I will reach the life and death realm, and I will be able to stand at the top of the world and walk alone with my sword. His qi and blood were boiling, and Yi Chen's determination was unshakable. Woo! Letting out a heavy breath, Yi Chen entered the empty realm and slowly closed his eyes. 3 days later, Yi Chen woke up. Half spirit body is indeed half spirit body. Although my power did not increase that much, my physical defense has more than doubled. With my Zhenyuan activated, people below the Sea of Souls realm would have a hard time injuring me. But, this does not include Jing Aoxuan and the rest, since they are at the astral reaching realm, and their battling power has already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Standing up, Yi Chen lifted up his hand to look at it. The skin on his forearm and palm was like jade and steel, with a faint red luster. Looking closely, one could see that the patterns on the skin had changed a little, as if it contained some kind of mystery. Boom! He threw out a punch, leaving a fist mark in the air. As the fist mark faded away, Yi Chen mumbled to himself, "My power has increased a little, but that explosive power is not the same as before. Is it because my nature has improved? Never mind, the spirit body has started, and it will slowly improve in the future. Next, it will be time to train the undying body." Ever since he obtained the cultivation method of the undying body, he had never stopped cultivating unless he had something to do. Unfortunately, the progress was extremely slow. Up until now, he had only managed to brand his heart and liver with a mental imprint, and had not made any progress in the other parts. Spirit mark could not be left on the whole body. It would not last for a long, and would disappear in a short time. Yi Chen had a thought. Of course, the time was still short, and he didn't expect to succeed in one go. After all, with his current realm, it was still too early for him to cultivate the undying body. Humans have 5 viscera and 6 bowels. I have succeeded in the heart and liver. Time to move on to the next part. As the days passed, Yi Chen/S achievement in the undying body was getting higher and higher. On the 3rd day of a month, Yi Chen/S 5 viscera were all branded with the mental mark, and it could last for more than a quarter of an hour. In other words, within a quarter of an hour, Yi Chen/S 5 viscera would recover instantly if they were injured, unless the injury was too severe and exceeded the healing ability of the flesh healing. Dong, dong, dong. Knocking sounds came from outside the yard. Yi Chen woke up from his cultivation and said, "Only Jing Aoshuan, Li Xiaoyun, and the others know where I live. Is there something wrong?" Pushing open the door, Yi Chen came to the yard. With a wave of his hand, the bolt on the door opened automatically. Li Xiaoyun walked in with a smile. The moment he saw Yi Chen, he was slightly startled. After not seeing him for more than a month, Yi Chen seemed to have changed slightly. He did not know what this change meant, but it was inconceivable. When he came out from the parallel battlefield, Yi Chen had already improved once. That time, it was his Zhen Yuan that had become purer, and his cultivation method had probably increased by 1 level. Now, he had improved again. Smiling bitterly, Li Xiaoyun said, "Brother Yi, did I disturb you?" Yi Chen said, "I have been in seclusion for more than a month, and I want to relax a bit. I wonder why Brother Li is looking for me. It/s like this. In the afternoon, there will be a large-scale auction in Thunder City. I saw that you have never gone out, so you don't/T know about it." Hearing him, Yi Chen nodded, "I indeed don't/T know. Thank you for reminding me. In order to learn the gold mentality, it would be best to train a gold element top-rank Earth Realm sword art first." Thunder City was known as the #1 city in the Thunder region, and one of the top 10 cities in the True Spirit continent. There would definitely be top-rank Earth Realm manuals in the auction. As for whether or not there would be a gold element top-rank Earth Realm sword art manual, that would depend on luck. After talking about the business, Li Xiaoyun said emotionally, "I was afraid that you would not be able to stabilize the situation in the tea gathering after 2 years. But now, it seems like it was unnecessary. You have improved twice in a month. I am afraid that in the next tea gathering, I will not be your opponent at all." After training the undying body, there would be an undying qi surrounding one's body. Although this qi had disappeared along with the mental imprint, Li Xiaoyun could still sense it. No wonder he thought that he had made some progress. Yi Chen thought that Yi Chen had made some progress. After chatting for a while, Li Xiaoyun said his goodbyes and left. The sun was high up in the sky, and it was noon. It was supposed to be tea time, but because of the auction, the Thunder City suddenly became crowded. Countless people rushed toward the auction house in the East District. Inside the luxurious VIP room, Yi Chen, Jing Aoshuan, and Li Xiaoyun were all there. Chu Zhongtian was not there, and Murong Qingcheng was still in closed-door training. The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities in the True Spirit continent. Sea of Souls realm warriors are everywhere. Even for Li Xiaoyun, it was his first time seeing so many Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, "The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities, but the reason it could attract so many people is because the auction items are rare enough. Top-rank weapons, the remains of life and death realm warriors, jade letters with profound sense martial arts. They have all been auctioned more than once. Jade letters with profound sense martial arts. Yi Chen was a bit surprised. Jing Aoshuan nodded. Some people find profound sense martial arts that are not suitable for them, so they would usually seal it back into the jade letters and sell it in the auction. I see that Brother Yi does not have a profound sense sword art yet. Perhaps you can get it in the auction. Yi Chen forced a smile. With my spirit stone storage, even if there is a profound sense sword art, I am afraid I will not be able to get it. Profound sense martial arts were Sky Realm martial arts, so mid-rank spirit stones would not be enough to buy them. Only top-rank spirit stones would do. However, Yi Chen had quite a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, but he only had 50,000 top-rank spirit stones, and that was because he had killed a lot of Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, Brother Yi should have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, right? Yes, I have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones. In the past month, Yi Chen had counted the mid-rank spirit stones in his storage ring. There were more than 7 million of them, and most of them were from killing Sea of Souls realm warriors. Then, you do not need to worry. The auction in the Thunder City allows you to exchange mid-rank spirit stones for top-rank spirit stones. The exchange rate is 1-to-1. Yi Chen said curiously, mid-rank spirit stones can be exchanged for top-rank spirit stones? Indeed. Although the purity of the spirit stones Yuan Qi is not as pure as top-rank spirit stones, for all the big martial institutions, mid-rank spirit stones are still indispensable. No one needs top-rank spirit stones right from the start, especially the rank 5 martial institutions, where there are countless disciples below the Sea of Souls realm. Having more mid-rank spirit stones would not be a bad thing. Plus, the total amount of Yuan Qi in top-rank spirit stones is 30 times that of mid-rank spirit stones. Even if it is a bit purer, it would be equivalent to 50 to 60 mid-rank spirit stones at most. So, 100 mid-rank spirit stones for one top-rank spirit stone would not be a bad thing for either side. If that is the case, then perhaps I would have the right to compete. Sword artists were always rare, and Sea of Souls realm sword artists were even rarer. Moreover, Sea of Souls realm sword artists who were richer than Yi Chen were probably not that many left. As they were talking, the auction officially began. The auctioneer was not a normal person, but a Sea of Souls realm warrior. This was the first time Yi Chen had seen a Sea of Souls realm warrior acting as an auctioneer, and his evaluation of the Thunder City's auction had improved a lot. After a couple of rounds of auctions, the auction reached a small climax. The auction item was a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts, including armor, helmet, arm guards, leg guards, and boots. It was almost enough to cover the entire body, which was rather unusual and rare. When there are a lot of mid-rank defensive artifacts, most of their defensive power will cancel each other out. But, a full set of them would have about 80% of a normal top-rank defensive artifact. And, a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts would be even rarer than top-rank ones. It would be hard to come by. Yi Chen could not help but sigh. A full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts was a couple of times more valuable than a single mid-rank defensive artifact. The starting price was a shocking 200,000 mid-rank spirit stones, which was eventually bought by a Sea of Souls realm warrior for 35 mid-rank spirit stones. Yi Chen shook his head. There was still no top-rank Earth Realm sword art manuals up for auction. It seemed like it was going to be over soon. He wondered if there would be a low-rank profound sense sword art later on. The 56th auction item is a jade strip containing a profound sense martial art. The auctioneer with a bit of white hair scanned the crowd with a smile and said slowly, "What? Another profound sense martial art?" Before this, there had already been 2 jade strips containing profound sense martial arts. I wonder what kind it is. Everyone started to discuss as they listened to the auctioneer's next words. Seeing that he had whetted everyone's appetite, the auctioneer said, "The profound sense martial art in this jade strip is a low-rank one. It is a sword art with the metal element. But, I would like to remind you that although it is only a low-rank profound sense sword art, it is way too sharp. Warriors with low soul power should be careful, lest they get injured mentally and leave a hidden danger behind." Sharp. No wonder. Sword arts have always been known for their sharpness, and it also contains the metal profound. With the two added together, Its sharpness is not hard to imagine. Chapter 484. Cough. The auctioneer cleared his throat, calming the crowd down before yelling, "This profound sword attack is called the Gold Resonant Radiant Sword Attack. The starting price is 25,000 top-rank spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 1,000 top-rank spirit stones. The bidding begins now. 26,000. 27,000. 30,000. 35,000. In almost a blink of an eye, the price had shot up from 25,000 to 35,000. It should be known that these were upper-grade spirit stones, not mid-grade ones. Upper-grade spirit stones were extremely rare. Among the Sea of Soul Realm warriors he had killed, the most he had was only 10,000, and the least was only a few thousand. A lot of Sea of Soul Realm warriors did not even have enough upper-grade spirit stones for their own cultivation. Therefore, they could only explore and search for treasures, then sell them in auctions to earn a huge amount of upper-grade spirit stones. Yi Chen did not bid in the end like before. Instead, he raised up his hand and said, 40,000. The auctioneer glanced at Yi Chen's VIP room and said with a smile, 40,000 top-rank soul stones. Is there anyone else who wants to bid higher? 42,000. In another VIP room, a sword artist in grey robes raised up his hand to increase the price. All right. 42,000. Is there anyone else? 45,000. 46,000. Yi Chen's expression did not change at all. 50,000. As Yi Chen's voice was heard, most of the sword artists gave up on bidding. 50,000 top-rank spirit stones was not a small number. In fact, if one did not kill other Sea of Souls realm warriors, it would be impossible to gather 50,000 top-rank spirit stones. Killing a Sea of Souls realm warrior was not a game. If one was not careful, one might be killed instead, unless one was powerful enough and had an overwhelming advantage. Even so, it would still be hard to guarantee that the other person was not hiding their power or hiding their killing ace. Therefore, without 100% confidence, no one would try to kill someone and rob them. 52,000. The sword artist in grey robes was not scared by the price. 55,000. Yi Chen was not in urgent need of top-rank spirit stones right now, so he would not care even if he spent them all. The sword artist frowned. 58,000. 60,000. 60,000. The sword artist squinted his eyes, his expression dark as he stopped talking. 70,000. Just when everyone thought that Yi Chen had won, the price rose by another 10,000. The one who made the bid was not the grey-robed swordsman, but an old and sharp voice. Yi Chen raised his eyebrows. 80,000. 85,000. Yi Chen was about to continue raising the price when a voice rang out, "Little guy, let's call it a day, give me some face." It would be impossible for Yi Chen to give up on his gold resonant radiant sword attack, since the gold mentality was extremely important to him. The sooner he could train it to its limit, the sooner he would be able to carry out his training plan. Therefore, after hearing the voice, he said lightly, 90,000. This price had obviously exceeded the bottom line of the bidder. He could only snort coldly and give up bidding. 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going once, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going twice, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going thrice. Sold. Congratulations to the friend in VIP room 48. The auctioneer hammered his hammer 3 times, carrying a satisfied smile on his face. Soon, a staff member of the auction house brought over the jade letter for the gold resonant radiant sword attack. Yi Chen paid him 5 million mid-grade spirit stones and 40,000 upper-grade spirit stones before taking the jade letter. Following that, the atmosphere in the auction house became more and more intense. Every single item was extremely rare, and there was no way to buy it. It was not until the sun had set that the auction finally reached its climax. Inside the secret room, the light was still on. Yi Chen let out a breath slowly as he held the jade letter in his palm and poured his Jin Yuan into it. Woo! A picture appeared in his mind. On a boundless plain, a sword artist with an indistinct face took out his long sword. The long sword shone with a bright gold light, which kept on vibrating. Within a blink of an eye, it seemed to have vibrated for thousands of times. Even the space seemed to have resonated with it, creating ripples like water. The sword artist waved the long sword in his hand, and a bottomless ravine appeared on the plain without a sound. All of the mud seemed to have evaporated, disappearing into thin air. High frequency and sharpness. This is like a super electric saw. Yi Chen could not help but feel a chill run down his spine. A normal person could cut through steel with an electric saw, but this gold resonant radiant sword attack was powered by the gold profound, which was way more powerful than an electric saw. Turning his body, the sword artist locked onto Yi Chen and threw out another sword attack. That endless gold light filled up Yi Chen's sight. Yi Chen felt a sharp pain in his eyes, as if his vision had been cut open. Tears started to flow out of his eyes, but he did not feel anything mentally. Gold resonant radiant sword attack, low rank profound sword attack, focusing on high frequency. As the information was reorganized, the training manual for the gold resonant radiant sword appeared in Yi Chen's mind. Just as he had expected, this sword attack that contained the gold mentality was indeed powerful. Once the sword attack was thrown out, the Jun Yuan and sword chi would vibrate continuously, which could easily cut through the defense of the same level. Once I train the gold resonant radiant sword attack to a certain level, even if I reach the Sea of Souls realm, I would not have to worry about not having enough ace attacks anymore. In terms of sword attacks, Yi Chen had 3 ace attacks, which were the Sky Thundercut, the Reverse Sky Thundercut, and the Amaranthine Nature. Although the Sky Thundercut was only 20 to 30% of a profound martial art, Yi Chen had learned a lot from Jing Aoshuan. Once he infused the 9th movement of the Sky Cloud Sword Art into the Sky Thundercut, it would become a real low-rank profound sword attack. Of course, if he did not learn the Thunder Profound, then the Sky Thundercut would not be perfected, since profound sword attacks needed the profound to be used. The Reverse Sky Thundercut was the twin brother of the Sky Thundercut. The two had completely different personalities. One attacked forward, while the other attacked backward. One had to admit that the latter was a bit more powerful and full of killing intent. With a reverse sword attack, not only could it reflect the attack, it could also catch the opponent off guard. The most horrifying thing was that the Reverse Sky Thundercut would become more powerful as the Sky Thundercut got stronger. It would always be on top of the Sky Thundercut, but it could not be without the Sky Thundercut. Without the Sky Thundercut, the Reverse Sky Thundercut would lose the chance to improve, and would never be able to move forward. As for the Amaranthine Nature, it was even more powerful than the Sky Thundercut and the Reverse Sky Thundercut combined. The Green Lotus Sword Art was a top-rank Earth Realm sword art, and the power of the last movement had shocked even Yi Chen. It was equivalent to a 50% profound martial art, which was also why he had spent a long time to learn the 9th movement. Right now, the Amaranthine Nature was definitely Yi Chen's ultimate ace attack, and it could not be changed. Besides the 3 top sword movements, Yi Chen's body also had a Lotus Heart Sword Chi, which was extremely fast and had a powerful penetrative power. Judging on its power, it would not be any weaker than the Amaranthine Nature. Of course, it was not as mysterious as the Amaranthine Nature. The Lotus Heart Sword Chi would recover once every half an hour, and it would be able to change the whole situation in a close combat. If he could learn the Gold Resonant Radiant Sword Art as well, he would not need to learn too much. As long as he could learn it to 50%, Yi Chen's overall power would still continue to increase. When facing the enemy, he would have more choices to choose from, and more chances to kill his opponent. It would be very meaningful. Yi Chen's yard was not that big in the Thunder City, but there were a lot of scenic spots inside. There were fake mountains, green water, pavilions, gardens, and even a bamboo forest. The bamboo forest was filled with a gentle breeze, and it looked very green. On the small path in the bamboo forest, Yi Chen stood there quietly with both of his hands holding the destruction sword. In front of him was a long spear that had been stabbed into the ground. The long spear was shining brightly, giving off the vibration of a mid-rank great weapon. Woo! The blue light on the surface of the destruction sword vibrated as Yi Chen threw out a sword attack on the long spear. With a clanging sound, thousands of sparks shot out. If it were not for Yi Chen blocking it with his Jin Yuan aura, the whole bamboo forest would have been destroyed. Not good. This sword attack has only vibrated 240 times within a second, which is barely 10%. It would not be able to make a dent on the spear. Yi Chen shook his head. After training for almost 3 days, his gold resonant radiant sword art had made some progress, but it was still far from the requirement. His short-term goal would be 30%, or even 40%. Yeah, the metal is vibrating. Inadvertently, Yi Chen realized that although the long spear had stopped vibrating, it was still vibrating at a high frequency. Since the vibration was so small, it was hard to notice it with the naked eye. Chin. Yi Chen threw out another sword attack. The long spear vibrated quickly, but the vibration was getting smaller and smaller. Eventually, it turned into a vibration, and the air was groaning. The mentality of gold, vibration, particles, combination. Yes, it should be like this, the mentality of letting nature take its course. Before, I was too focused on it, and the improvement was too small. I did not have much comprehension either. The hardest part of training a martial art was to find the right way. If the way was right, then the training would be much easier. But if the way was wrong, then it would be a waste of time and effort. Chin, chin, chin. Finding the right way, Yi Chen's mind was filled with more and more ideas. He continued to wave his destruction sword, attacking the long spear at a high frequency. 5 days, 10 days, half a month, 1 month. Yi Chen had spent a whole month training his gold resonant radiance sword art. His comprehension was like a flood that could not be stopped. Meanwhile, more and more cracks appeared on the long spear, and the broken parts were getting sharper and sharper. Although the metal is a solid, the tiny particles inside are actually moving as well. The vibration can make the metal even more sturdy and more aggressive. However, I have to control it well. Otherwise, the metal will break down, and the power of the gold resonant radiant sword art will not be able to be used. No matter if it is the metal or the gold mentality, it is the same principle. Yi Chen fell into a strange state. He seemed to be able to feel the life of the destruction sword in his hand, as well as its joy. In this kind of state, the training of the gold mentality came naturally. It was much easier than when he was training the thunder mentality or the wood mentality. Perhaps, he should have trained the gold mentality earlier, since it was a perfect match for him. Woo! The destruction sword in his hand started to vibrate, and the Zhen Yuan that had been poured into it started to vibrate as well. The sword light that was being spat out was extremely horrifying, as if it could cut through space itself. Without opening his eyes, Yi Chen took a step forward and waved out a sword attack. Crack! The mid-rank long spear was cut in half. The cut was as smooth as a mirror, and the edge was sharp enough to cut through steel. However, Yi Chen did not even feel the slightest bit of hindrance when he waved out that sword attack. It was as if he had not cut through a mid-rank long spear, but a piece of wood. Chapter 485. It is indeed the gold resonant radiant sword art. I have only mastered 40% of it, but its power is already at the same level as the amaranthine nature sword art. One sword attack is enough to break a mid-rank great weapon. Yi Chen opened his eyes and sighed. The amaranthine nature sword art was very similar to the gold resonant radiant sword art in a certain way. For example, the power would be stacked layer by layer, making it more powerful. However, the difference was that the frequency of the amaranthine nature sword art would be slower and longer, while the gold resonant radiant sword art would vibrate multiple times within a short period of time before exploding out instantly. There was no advantage or disadvantage between the two, but judging on the attributes, the gold resonant radiant sword art was powered by the gold profound after all. Chin. Putting the destruction sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen picked up the broken mid-rank spear and threw it into his storage ring. Speaking of which, he had already destroyed quite a lot of mid-rank weapons, all of which were damaged by his training. It was not that these mid-rank weapons were useless, but that he had not poured his Zhen Yuan into them. If he had poured his Zhen Yuan into them, he might not have been able to leave a dent on them, not to mention breaking them with one sword strike. I have trained my gold resonant radiance sword art to 40%, and my undying body has also trained all my internal organs. It is time to leave. Unknowingly, Yi Chen had already stayed in the Thunder City for more than 2 months. All of the young warriors who had come for the martial tea gathering had already left in the first month, including the people from the South Rudra region. Li Xiaoyun and Chu Zhongtian had left in the second month, while Murong Qingcheng had left a week ago as well. She wanted to go back to her family and go into a closed-door training to train all of the demon power essence in her body. On the contrary, he had stayed until now. Master Rain, he has left. In a restaurant that was closest to the West City Gate, two mysterious people were sitting by the window. The one who was talking was a middle-aged man in colorful robes, who was the 5-poison ghost warrior. Master Rain nodded. As long as I want to, all of the water Yuan Qi within hundreds of miles will be my eyes. He will not be able to escape from my tracking. That's good. The 5-poison ghost general trusted Elder Rain's abilities and knew that he would not lie. However, he revealed his extraordinary power in the martial tea gathering. I'm afraid that with just the two of us, we might not be able to keep him here. You also know that he is not an ordinary astral reaching expert. The 5-poison ghost warrior chuckled coldly. Of course I know that. I've already made full preparations. This time, he'll absolutely be unable to escape my grasp. Elder Rain raised his teacup and took a sip. 5-poison, I've already wasted a few months on you. It's time you tell me what secrets that kid has. 5-poison ghost warrior laughed. Elder Rain, I can't tell you now, but I can guarantee that I will give you all the benefits. No, you will get the same amount as me. After all, we will have many chances to work together in the future. This is our chance. All right, I hope you won't disappoint me. Elder Rain knew the 5-poison ghost general's personality very well. He knew that he would not do anything until he saw an opportunity. Since he was so obsessed with dealing with Yi Chen, then he must have his own reasons. All he needed to do was to be prepared to accept the benefits. As for whether there would be a trap or not, Elder Rain was not worried at all. After all, he was an elder of the 9 ghost cult. After drinking half of the tea, the two left. The sea of clouds was surging, gathering and dispersing randomly. A huge flying puppet was flying through the air, its speed reaching 5 times the speed of sound. Because of its extreme speed, all of the clouds in its way were shattered, forming a straight path. On the back of the flying puppet sat a young man in blue robes. It was indeed Yi Chen, who had just left the Thunder City. Using the flying puppet, one does not need to rest at all. Their stamina and spirit are always at their peak. I have to say, this is indeed a great invention. The flying puppet's battling power was not bad. If it was filled with top-rank spirit stones, it could even compete with extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. There were also 2 top-rank puppet cannons hidden inside. The power of one cannon was enough to flatten a town. Of course, the consumption of one cannon was huge as well, about 50 pieces of top-rank spirit stones worth of Yuan Qi. Even so, the biggest use of the flying puppet was not for battle, but for traveling. A real top-rank battle puppet would be able to compete with normal Sea of Soul Realm warriors. As for the flying puppet, it was made purely for the enjoyment of traveling. Just think about it, with a flying puppet, one could sit on it and fly for months. If it were an astral-reaching realm warrior or a Sea of Soul Realm warrior, who would be able to fly for months? Even if they did not die of exhaustion, they would die of suffocation. 200 li behind Yi Chen, the 5-poison ghost general and Elder Rain were following behind him. 5-poison ghost general had a bad look on his face. Bastard. Where did this brat get a flying puppet? It seems to be at least a top mid-rank flying puppet. Yi Chen had installed a mid-rank spirit stone inside the leopard-shaped flying puppet, which allowed its speed to reach 5 times the speed of sound. Therefore, 5-poison ghost general had misunderstood, thinking that it was a mid-rank flying puppet. The better the things he has, the better our harvest will be. This time, we cannot let him get away. Elder Rain's face was not looking good either. No matter who it was who flew for a whole week in the sky without rest, covering 500,000 li of distance, they would not be in a good mood. Sucking in a deep breath, 5-poison ghost general turned his head and said, "We have already left the Thunder region and appeared in the mountain region. I wonder when this brat will go down to rest." Elder Rain was just about to say something when he suddenly raised his eyebrows. He went down. Bluestone Town was one of the thousands of towns in the mountain region. Because it was close to the Hunter mountain range, there were quite a lot of warriors coming and going. Putting away the flying puppet, Yi Chen jumped down. "Guest, please come in. Master Wang, you have not been here for a long time. Please have a seat in the room upstairs. I will serve you right away." At the entrance of the restaurant in the middle of the town, a waiter had a towel on his shoulder as he greeted the customers passionately. This huge restaurant seemed to be very busy. Although the busy waiter was very tired, he was actually very happy. This Bluestone restaurant was not a normal restaurant, and its business was very good. As a waiter here, his salary would be a couple of times higher than the other restaurants. In just a couple of years, he would be able to accumulate a huge amount of wealth, which would be enough to buy his 5-year-old son a normal martial art manual, which would allow him to become a warrior in the future. Wiping his sweat, the waiter looked around and realized that another group of people were walking over. This group of people was very strange. They were all wearing bamboo hats in the middle of summer, and there was even a black gauze on the edge of the hat, which prevented people from seeing their faces. "Guests, the first floor is full, but there are still a couple of seats on the second floor." The waiter carefully served them. "You do not need to follow us. We will go up by ourselves." One of them said coldly. "Yes. Yes, sir." Hearing that voice, the waiter could not help but shiver. What a terrifying voice. He felt like he was being stared at by the most ferocious beast. His hair stood straight up, and his body went numb. The group of people came to the second floor, glanced around the almost full hall, then walked towards the room on the side. "What are you doing? This room is ours, get out." The middle-aged man who was called Master Wang by the waiter was very annoyed. He stared at the uninvited guests in front of him. A man in a bamboo hat walked out and slightly stomped his foot on the ground. This Master Wang was blown away while puking out blood, and was stuck on the wall. "Piss off." The cold voice made everyone in the room tremble. Master Wang was one of the few clasping Yuan realm martial artists in this town, but he was so weak. "Master, please calm down, we will leave now, right now." After helping Lord Wang to his feet, everyone in the private room left. "Let's sit down." The leading man waved his hand, and the chairs were arranged neatly. He then sat down in the main seat. Outside the restaurant, another customer arrived. "Young warrior, please come in, there are seats on the second floor." It was the first time for the waiter to see such an outstanding young man, so he was very friendly. Yi Chen gave the waiter a piece of silver and said, "Lead the way." "All right." The waiter walked in front of Yi Chen with his back bent, leading him to the second floor. After finding a clean table and sitting down, Yi Chen ordered, "Bring me a pot of your best wine and some side dishes." "All right, I will bring it right away." The waiter hurried downstairs. Taking a sip of the tea on the table, Yi Chen looked around and found that there were quite a lot of martial artists in the restaurant, but most of them were at the condensing reality realm. All the clasping Yuan realm martial artists were in the rooms. Hey! The innermost room was blocked by soul power. Was it a sea of soul realm martial artist? Shaking his head, Yi Chen didn't care about it. Although Bluestone Town was relatively remote, it didn't mean that no sea of soul realm martial artists would come here. After flying for so long, he had to come down to rest and eat some good wine. Soon, the wine and dishes were served. Yi Chen buried his head in the food and started to eat. "Although we destroyed the Wang clan this time, we didn't obtain many bloodline crystals. Moreover, we didn't find the two most outstanding descendants of the Wang clan. According to the clan's intelligence, these two have already awakened the six-headed snake bloodline. It will be troublesome to let them mature." The leader of the bamboo hat men said indifferently. The left man said, "Sixth elder, it's only two six-headed snake bloodlines. Even if they grow up, they won't be able to shake our family. No, prevention is better than cure. This is the purpose of the family. Therefore, either we don't do it, or we do it cleanly." Sixth elder is right. Sixth elder is right. The Wang clan used to be a king clan a long time ago. Although our clan has the strength of a king clan, it was only in the last 100 years. The Wang clan has fallen and become a commoner clan. But it's hard to say that they don't have the foundation to make a comeback. Especially since the bloodline crystals obtained by the Wang clan were much less than expected. I suspect that they are on those two descendants of the Wang clan. In the vast sea of people, Finding a family is easy, but finding two people is too difficult. The leading man shook his head. No rush. This time, the mission was rushed, and the family didn't have time to send the blue eye tracker. If nothing unexpected happens, the blue eye tracker will arrive in 3 days. With their help, tracking down the people with the 6-headed snake bloodline will be a piece of cake. The blue eye tracker will also come. Everyone was slightly surprised. All of a sudden, the leader of the bamboo hat men frowned. What's wrong? 6th elder? The other man asked. Not good, someone wants to attack the restaurant. Boom. A giant toad condensed from the purple mist hit the restaurant. Purple mist escaped from the toad's body, and from far away, there were already people foaming at the mouth and collapsing on the ground. Meanwhile, the restaurant that came into contact with the toad melted like cheese, and the purple mist surged. Chapter 486. Poison Chi Attack. Yi Chen's expression changed as he took out his long sword and threw out a slash at the toad. The toad was split into 2 halves, but it soon merged back together. It then opened its huge mouth and spat out a 10-meter-long purple tongue towards Yi Chen. Seeking death. Looking at the huge number of people in the restaurant, Yi Chen's expression turned gloomy. The sword in his hand was waved out at a speed faster than human eyes could see, filling the air with sword shadows. Shoo! 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 The toad was shredded into a thin mist and dissipated. But in the next moment, the broken restaurant suddenly creaked, and the people who were leaning against the window were dumbfounded. It turned out that at some point, a huge purple mist snake had wrapped around the restaurant, and was about to wrap around its body and kill everyone in the restaurant. This poison Qi can even corrode Jin Yuan easily. Who could be so cruel as to kill everyone in the restaurant? Yi Chen did not need to think to know that it was the same person who had ambushed him last time. Unfortunately, he did not have the chance to meet him last time, and he did not expect to find him again this time. A woo, a woo, a woo. A horrifying wolf howl was heard as a violent qi flow burst out from the innermost private room. The qi flow broke through the walls and spread out in all directions, blowing away the purple mist snake. Another kind of bloodline? Yi Chen looked over and saw that the place where the private room used to be was now empty. What was exposed in front of him was a group of men in hats. They had an extremely creepy aura, and behind their backs, there were countless huge wolf shadows. They were different from normal demonic wolves, with horrifying blue eyes and white fur. They were indeed the legendary blue-eyed white wolves, the kind that had disappeared from the continent for a long time. Lizard body, dragon head shadow, 3-headed snake shadow, blue-eyed white wolf shadow. What kind of bloodline is this? Why are they so strange? Yi Chen furrowed his brows. Most of the information that the warlord had injected into his mind was related to cultivation or things related to cultivation. There wasn't everything else. There was no end to the poisonous gas attacks. Just as the purple mist snakes were scattered, countless purple mist spiders the size of human heads appeared. The purple mist spiders were extremely fast. Their 8 legs moved as fast as lightning, and they could even make people hallucinate. Thus, in a flash, the only people left in the restaurant were Yi Chen and the bamboo hat men. The restaurant was quickly corroded and melted by the poisonous gas. Without the obstruction of the wall, Yi Chen and the man in bamboo hat were exposed. Bastard! An intense killing aura burst out from Yi Chen's body. As far as the eye could see, not only the restaurant, but the entire Bluestone town had been enveloped by the purple poisonous gas. It was like a purple fog was spreading everywhere. Spreading out his soul power, on the streets, in the residential buildings, in the tea houses, in the shops, there were tens of thousands of corpses. Tens of thousands of corpses were first corroded into white bones, and then turned into ashes. Yi Chen's method was so cruel that it made people's hair stand on end. And the purpose of all this was just to deal with Yi Chen. Just to deal with me, you actually massacred the entire town. Even if you don't want to find me, I will find you. A horrifying sword intent shot up into the sky. The purple fog was torn open. Yi Chen held the sword with both of his hands and waved it out heavily. Crack! The Bluestone town was suddenly split open, and the purple fog area was divided into two. Using his movement art, Yi Chen flew towards the tunnel without any poisonous gas. Only when he got out of the town would he be able to find the real body of the poisoner. However, after he had flown out for dozens of meters, the tunnel was closed up immediately. Countless purple mist centipedes rushed over, one after another, like a tide. Yi Chen looked calm. He turned his body in the air and tried to break through to the top. Hiss, hiss, hiss. It was a dead end up there as well. Countless huge purple mist snakes were swimming in the fog. They were so dense that it looked like an inescapable net. This is a formation. Let's get out of here. The leading man in bamboo hat could tell that the poisoner's target was Yi Chen. Therefore, he gave up on the idea of killing Yi Chen. He did not think that Yi Chen would be able to escape from this formation. Of course, if the poisoner did not know what was good for him and wanted to kill them as well, then he should not blame him for ruining his plan. Shoo, shoo. The man in bamboo hat had the white wolf shadow to protect him, which made his speed extremely fast. The poisoner obviously did not make a stupid decision and opened up a tunnel for them. A person's Jin Yuan cannot be this rich. This is a formation. Yi Chen was not stupid. He knew that he had been trapped by a formation. There were two ways to break it. One was to break it with brute force, which meant that he would have to rely on his overwhelming power to break the formation. There was no need to think about anything else. The other way was to break it with brute force. Since the formation was brute force, one would naturally be able to find a way to break it. Down there. Yi Chen suddenly thought of something. He twisted his feet and disappeared into the ground like a beam of light. Outside of the town that was covered in purple mist, the ghost warrior sneered, "How could I not know about this hole? The 5 Poison Great Formation goes 10,000 meters underground. From now on, this place will become a forbidden place. No one will be able to live in it for 1,000 years. Master Rain looked in another direction and said, "They are coming. This group of people is not simple. They seem to have some powerful bloodline. I will try not to mess with them if I can." The ghost warrior was very scared of the men in bamboo hats. Otherwise, he would not have let them out. He was afraid that they would treat him as an enemy and cause trouble. The men in bamboo hats stopped 100 meters away. The leading man said coldly, "You two are very skilled. You have set up a 5 Poison Great Formation without anyone noticing and poisoned an entire town to death." The ghost warrior chuckled while activating the formation. "That brat and I have a grudge. In order to take care of him, I have no choice but to do so. As for you guys, I hope you will forgive us for our offense." "Huh. You think you can forgive us just because you say so? That is way too easy." One of the men in bamboo hats sneered. Master Rain shook his head and took out a top-rank weapon from his storage ring. He threw it over and said, "This is your compensation." Reaching out to catch the dazzling high-grade artifact, the leader of the bamboo hat men felt his blood boiling. The reason for this was not because of the high-grade artifact, but because something was calling him. It was the green-eyed trackers. Had they come 3 days earlier? "Let's go." Putting away the top-rank weapon, the leading man turned to leave without saying anything. The others had also sensed the calling from afar, so they followed right behind him. Strange, they seemed to have something to do. Master Rain looked confused. The ghost warrior laughed. "It would be great if they had something to do. Right now, even the sky is helping us. There is no reason for that brat to not fall. Once I get what I want, I will turn him into a poison corpse. It will be very interesting. Whether it will be interesting or not, I do not know. I only know that if you do not try harder, you will not be able to trap him anymore." From Master Rain's direction, he could clearly see the sword chi within the purple mist area, tearing apart the giant snakes, centipedes, and toads that were made of poison chi. Hee. The 5 Poison Great spell requires 625 highly poisonous crystals. I spent 10 years to collect all of them. How could it be broken this easily? Although the ghost warrior was very confident in the 5 Poison Great spell, he did not slow down at all. He continued to push his Jin Yuan, causing the purple poisonous chi to form into poisonous creatures to attack Yi Chen. He was using the advantage of numbers to cancel out Yi Chen's attacking advantage. Inside the purple mist, Yi Chen's protective Jinyuan was continuously being corroded, and the rate at which his Jinyuan was being drained was increasing. He was not a Sea of Soul Realm expert, so his Jinyuan was not as rich as his opponents, nor was it as pure. Regardless of his battle power, his Jinyuan defense was indisputable. Facing this purple poisonous qi that was everywhere, the only thing Yi Chen could do was to use his protective Jinyuan to defend against it and then think of a way to get out. As for breaking through it with tricks, it would be impossible, since he did not know much about spells. If it were that easy to break through, then it would not be a spell at all. I can't do it underground. The soil has already been corroded by the poisonous qi, and the friction with the protective Jinyuan would be even more intense. The sky would not work either, since the poisonous qi is the thickest there. It seems like all of the poisonous qi is rising up into the air and spreading down. I guess I will have to break through from the front. After making up his mind, the blue protective Jinyuan around Yi Chen's body shone with a layer of gold light. It turned out that he had activated the top-rank defensive gold armor's buff effect. Then, he put his longsword back into its scabbard and took out a green longsword from his storage ring. It was a top-rank great sword, which he had gotten from killing the green-robed sword artist in the parallel space battlefield. He had never used it before. With a top-rank defensive weapon on his body and a top-rank longsword in his hand, Yi Chen's overall power had increased drastically. Even if he were to face a spirit warrior, he would have 30% chance of escaping unscathed. Woo! With a wave of the sword, countless poisonous creatures formed from the purple mist were shattered, revealing a straight sword path. Top-rank defensive weapon, top-rank long sword. This brat is even richer than I thought. The poisonous qi in the purple mist region was like the ghost warrior's eyes and ears. Therefore, all of Yi Chen's movements were under his surveillance. Right then, seeing Yi Chen put on a top-rank weapon, his face darkened. He pushed his Jinyuan to its limit and formed a poisonous creature army within the purple mist region, attacking toward Yi Chen. The Bluestone town is not that big. The purple mist region is not as scary as the Forbidden Zone. I will use my protective Jinyuan to last for a while, then break through the spell and rush out. A cold light flashed in Yi Chen's eyes as the protective Jinyuan around his body became thicker and firmer. He then extended his body and rushed toward the poisonous creature army. Pooh! 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 The poisonous creature army landed on Yi Chen's protective Jinyuan, making weird popping sounds. It sounded like an egg hitting a rock, or tea splashing on the ground. Along with it, a sizzling sound of corrosion could be heard continuously. His protective Jinyuan was getting thinner and thinner as Yi Chen was surrounded by the poisonous creature army. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. Without any pause, the long sword in Yi Chen's hand vibrated, spitting out a sword light that seemed to be able to cut through the space as he threw out a sword attack. Boom! The purple mist region was pierced through, and a gap was torn open in the poisonous creature army. Bastard! Block it for me. The ghost warrior's face was twisted as he tried to block Yi Chen back. However, Yi Chen had already reached the edge of the purple mist region, and there was no way he could block it. With a shoo sound, Yi Chen appeared outside the purple mist region and saw the ghost warrior and Master Rain. Master Rain's face was slightly surprised. He did not expect Yi Chen to break through the spell so quickly. Little brother, you cannot win against us. As long as you hand over what he wants, I can let you go. How you choose will depend on whether or not you are controlled by anger. Chapter 487. What is it? Yi Chen really wanted to know what this guy wanted. He did not remember ever interacting with this guy before. The ghost warrior gave up on activating the 5-poison great array and said with a cold face, "Hand over the thing you got from under the stone men's camp. Do you know what I am talking about?" Hearing him, Yi Chen squinted his eyes. It seemed like this guy was the same as him, also searching for the secret of the undying body. However, he had never seen him before, so he must be hiding in the dark. This kind of person was the most dangerous. He was like a poisonous snake hiding in the grass, ready to bite you at any second. You would not even know how and why you died. What if I don't want to hand it over? Jin Yuan slowly but powerfully operated inside his body. Yi Chen's spirit was highly concentrated, ready to launch a fatal attack at any second. If you don't hand it over, you will wish you were dead. Even if you manage to escape this time, how many times can you escape? By then, you will not be the only one who will suffer. Your friends, your women, your families will all suffer as well. They will have to bear the consequences that they should not have to bear. I guess they will hate you even before they die. As he spoke, the 5 poison ghost warriors started to laugh. Although they did not have the absolute confidence to keep Yi Chen here, it would be impossible for Yi Chen to do anything to them. Oh yeah. Even if you don't come for me, I will come for you. You are destined to be a ghost under my sword. His body suddenly piercing out, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. It was not a profound sense martial art, nor was it a powerful killing attack. It was just a normal sword attack. However, with the enhancement of the fast mentality, it was unbelievably fast and accurate. Once the sword was thrown out, the crescent moon-like sword chi had already approached the ghost warrior's body. Master Rain's senses and reflexes were one level higher than the ghost warrior's, so he had been watching out for Yi Chen for a long time. Seeing him throw out his sword without any hesitation, he did not show any other emotions except for being a little surprised at the speed. A metal ring appeared in his hand, which vibrated and brought up a dreamy water wave. It blocked in front of the ghost warrior, clashing with the tip of the sword. Boom! Water splashed everywhere as the ghost warrior was blown away, breaking 3 huge trees in a row. At the same time, Yi Chen changed his sword aura. He was like a swimming fish, avoiding the most powerful shockwave and attacking towards Master Rain, who was trying to stop him. Ding 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 pu. The first 3 sword attacks were all blocked by Master Rain's ring, while the last one brushed past the ring and left a bloody mark on Master Rain's shoulder. Pop! Master Rain's body was like the moon in the water, disappearing into nothingness. When he reappeared, he was already hundreds of meters away, dodging Yi Chen's continuous attacks. Turning his head to look at the wound on his shoulder, Master Rain's face darkened. Even though he had already considered Yi Chen as a powerful opponent, he did not expect that he would be at a disadvantage right from the start. Brat, you're courting death. The 5 Poisons Ghost General, who was sent flying, had a livid expression. He flicked his sleeves and corroded the branches and leaves that were blocking him into ashes. Then, he bounced up from the ground and slammed his palm forward. 5 Poison Godly Palm. The purple Jin Yuan separated into 5 parts, turning into different shapes in the air. One was a poisonous snake, one was a centipede, one was a spider, one was a scorpion, and the last one was a toad. The 5 Jin Yuan poisonous creatures looked extremely lifelike. They all attacked towards Yi Chen while showing their fangs and claws. Break. Besides the fact that the ghost warrior was a bit more powerful, his battling power was nothing in Yi Chen's eyes. Facing this poisonous palm attack, Yi Chen waved his long sword in the air. The 5 poisonous creatures seemed to have been hit in their weak spots. Their bodies twisted and exploded, while rolling purple chi corroded the ground in front of them and created a huge pit. One ring in the moon. Master Rain's attack had arrived as well. That metal ring vibrated in the air and turned into a huge green halo. It twisted the water yuan chi and looked like a deep ocean whirlpool, squeezing Yi Chen in the middle. It then suddenly wrapped around him, trying to lock down Yi Chen's movement. Yi Chen knew that he could not let himself be trapped by the green halo. Even if he could break it, it would still take a lot of time. During that time, even if he had 9 lives, it would not be enough. The The emerald long sword was waved up, and the green halo was sliced open. 2-ring sun lock. Another metal ring appeared in Master Rain's hand. As he threw it out, the 2 metal rings intertwined with each other, turning into layers of green light rings. It was hard to tell which one was the real one, and which one was the fake one. The rings spread out in the air, and the number of rings increased drastically once again. The bigger rings covered the smaller ones, and the smaller ones were connected to the bigger ones, covering the entire sky, layer upon layer. Troublesome indeed. Yi Chen frowned hard. Master Rain's battling power was extremely horrifying, and he was almost at the level of a spirit warrior. Plus, there was still the 5-poison ghost warrior, whose battling power was not that impressive, but his poison art was extremely vicious. The 2 of them had given him a huge pressure that he had never felt before. Sword step, find the gap. Using his body as a sword, Yi Chen turned into a beam of sword light, flying through the gaps of the countless rings. Whenever he ran into something that he could not dodge, he would throw out a sword attack. What kind of step art is this? Master Rain was shocked as he watched Yi Chen fly out of his attacking range. The ghost warrior did not expect Yi Chen to be able to break through Master Rain's 2-ring sun lock so easily. As far as he knew, once this attack was performed, even those who were slightly more powerful than Master Rain would not be able to fight back. Mountain melting palm. Putting his left hand on his right arm, the ghost warrior's Jin Yuan increased drastically. A purple swirl appeared in the middle of his palm, looking like a mountain. He threw it towards Yi Chen. Amaranthine nature. Yi Chen was not afraid at all. He performed his amaranthine nature and stabbed out with his sword. Pooh! The purple Jin Yuan had been pierced through, and a sword hole appeared in the center of the ghost warrior's palm. Just when his palm was about to be pierced through, Master Rain's reinforcement arrived just in time. One of his metal rings had managed to deflect Yi Chen's longsword while the other one was thrown out. Missing his attack, Yi Chen hurried to back out, avoiding the incoming ring. No. One of them has such a powerful poison art, and the other has such a weird movement. If I do not take care of one of them, I will not be able to gain the upper hand. Yi Chen's eyes sparkled as he glanced at Master Rain and the ghost warrior. Master Rain said coldly, "Give me that thing, and I will give you a peaceful life. Otherwise, you will see this kind of scene again in the future. Not only you, but also your friends and family. I think they are not as powerful as you, right?" The killing intent in his eyes was not hidden at all as Yi Chen sneered, "Even if I hand it over, you might not let me go. Only by removing the root of the problem will you be able to solve the problem in the future. Am I right? Since you insist, then do not blame us." Master Rain neither admitted nor denied it, but he agreed with Yi Chen deep down in his heart. Yi Chen's potential was way too horrifying. Once he grew up, even he and the ghost warrior together would not be his opponent. Therefore, for the peace of the future, they could only chase after Yi Chen without giving up. Asking Yi Chen to give up now was only to increase their own power. "Brat, this is the path you have chosen. Do not regret it in the future. I, the ghost warrior, have plenty of ways to torture people." The ghost warrior knew that he would not be Yi Chen's opponent, so he let Master Rain be the main attacker, and he would help from the side. After all, he knew that his most powerful art was his poison art, not his fighting power. The long sword in his hand was pointed at the ground, the sword light shooting out. Yi Chen secretly activated his immortal body and switched to using his soul power to leave a soul mark on his internal organs. The effect of the soul mark was way stronger than the mental mark, and it could last for half an hour. During this time, the internal injuries would be negligible, unless the opponent's attack power was beyond his immortal body's limit. "I have said it before, you will be a ghost under my sword." Yi Chen gave up on fighting with Master Rain and attacked the ghost warrior directly. Master Rain frowned. The ghost warrior could not die. If he died, he would not be able to control Yi Chen anymore. Only by working together would he have a chance. Boom, boom, boom. Throwing out the metal ring, Master Rain started his most aggressive attack on Yi Chen. The second he got close to the ghost warrior, Yi Chen suddenly grabbed the other 3 swords with his left hand and swung them back. It was the reverse sky thunder cut. The sound of metal exploding was heard along with thousands of sparks. After blowing away the ring with one sword attack, Yi Chen crossed his two swords and performed his dual sword art. Not good. His target is me. Master Rain was shocked at Yi Chen's cunning. He did not have time to take back the ring and threw out a punch. Boom. Yi Chen's attack was weaker than he had expected. Although that punch was the full power of Master Rain, it was still not as powerful as the ring attack. However, Yi Chen was blown away like an arrow leaving the bow. In the next second, he appeared 10 steps away from the ghost warrior. Damn it. This brat's target is still 5 poison. Fighting with me was just to cover up his goal and create a fog to make 5 poison lower his guard. Master Rain was shocked at Yi Chen's battling experience. It was not something that could be gained through training. It would require a top talent, since people with weak battling talent would not be able to make such a plan in such a critical moment. Killing 5 poison will leave you with a wounded body. Let's see what you will choose. Master Rain roared in anger as he used both of his hands to control the ring that was not far away and threw it at Yi Chen. He was confident that Yi Chen would not have a good time under his attack. Yi Chen did not care about the ring behind him at all. His emerald long sword started to vibrate at an extreme speed as the edge of the sword light was covered in a layer of gold. Gold resonant radiance attack. With a flash of gold light, the ghost warrior was sliced in half. A red line extended from his head to his crotch before blood splashed everywhere. He did not even know that he was already dead. He wanted to attack back at Yi Chen, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not activate his Jin Yuan and fell heavily onto the ground. Boom. The second he killed the ghost warrior, Yi Chen's back was also hit by a ring attack. As for the other one, he had dodged it. Puking out blood from the corner of his mouth, Yi Chen turned around calmly. Master Rain's face was twisted as he said, "Your internal organs should have been broken, right?" Chapter 488. 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. I did not expect you to be the leader of the 108 ghost warriors of the 9 evil cult. I did not expect you to have already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Unfortunately, you still died in my hands. Speaking of which, I have already killed 4 ghost warriors of the 9 evil cult. I wonder what kind of relationship you have with them. The ghost warriors who had died in Yi Chen's hands were the Ghost Corpse Man, the Blood Demon, the White Bone Ghost Warrior, and the 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. He guessed that Master Rain might be one of the ghost warriors as well, but he had surpassed the 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. In Master Rain's eyes, Yi Chen was already a dead man. Therefore, he said without hesitation, "I guess there is no harm in telling you. I am the Outer Master of the 9 evil cult, Yu Yutian." Outer Master Yu Yutian? Very good. Ghost warriors are not powerful enough for me anymore. Now, it is the master-level warriors of the 9 evil cult. Huh. Arrogant. When you were at your peak, I might have been a bit scared. But now, I can kill you with one hand. 2-ring Sun Lock. Although Yu Yutian said that, he did not dare to be careless at all. Although it was rare for someone to fail miserably, it was not impossible. Even a lion would use all of its power to catch a rabbit. He would not make this kind of mistake, at least not before his opponent fell down. The earth-shattering green halos sealed the area, layer upon layer, the big halos encircling the small halos. Blood leaked out of Yi Chen's mouth, but he did not try to dodge. It seemed like he could not dodge at all. The green long sword in his hand kept slicing out, stabbing out, and trying to break through the blocking of the light. It gave people the feeling that he was a small boat on the ocean, and could be destroyed at any second. Seeing that, Yu Yutian let out a breath of relief. It seemed like Yi Chen was indeed badly wounded, but he did not know how bad it was. There were a lot of green light rings, and their trajectories were constantly changing. However, Yi Chen's sword arts were fast, brutal, and accurate. No matter how the green light rings changed, they could not get close to him, not to mention locking him down. Huh. Let's see how long you can last, Yu Qiansho. Sneering, Yu Yutian quickly formed hand seals with both hands. As he formed hand seals, the water yuan qi in the air started to move, and the sky turned grey. Then, rain arrows started to rain down. It was as if thousands of arrows had been shot at the same time, or as if hailstones were falling. Reverse sky thunder cut. Yi Chen held his sword in a reverse grip and slashed downwards. The rings and rain arrows within a radius of 3 feet bounced off like a hollow ball. Puff. After doing all this, Yi Chen opened his mouth and spat out a large mouthful of blood. He looked dispirited. This is the moment. Yu Yutian suddenly felt that he shouldn't kill Yi Chen right now. He couldn't kill him before he obtained the secret that the Ghost General 5 Poisons wanted. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wasted a few months following the Ghost General 5 Poisons around. With a thought, Yu Yotian's next attack weakened by 30%. A majestic water dragon, propelled by his true essence, rushed out with an imposing aura that seemed as if it could break through everything. Water Dragon Kill. This attack was Yu Yotian's most powerful single-target profound sense martial art. The first loop Mooncover and second loop Sunlock were ceiling attacks, the Rain Thousand Kill was a group attack, and the Water Dragon Kill was the real ace attack that he used against powerful enemies. Even if he had only used 70% of his Jin Yuan, it would still be enough to wound Yi Chen badly. Boom! The moment the Water Dragon rushed out, a forked lightning appeared in the sky, which was extremely shocking. Finally here. A sharp cold light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes, as if someone had waved out a fatal sword attack from within. The emerald long sword vibrated at an unimaginable frequency. Within a second, it had vibrated at least 1,000 times. The blue sword light was covered with a layer of golden light. The golden light continued to flow, shooting out along with Yi Chen's attack. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. Without any obstruction, the majestic water dragon was directly split in half, shooting out from both sides of Yi Chen and into the distance. What? Impossible. Could it be? An unbelievable look flashed through Yu Yotian's eyes. A thought flashed through his mind, and he could not help but think, could it be that it was all an illusion? Yi Chen wasn't injured at all, and that so-called injury was just an act to make me lower my guard and attack recklessly. But my ring had clearly landed on his back. Even if he was wearing a top-rank defensive item, the power would still have passed through. There was no way he would not be injured at all. What is going on? Yu Yotian's mind was in a mess. He felt like he had run into something incomprehensible. If the Ghost Warrior were here, he would definitely not make this kind of mistake, because he was sure that Yi Chen had gotten the undying body training method. Therefore, he would definitely be on guard against it during the battle. However, he was too cautious and did not tell Yu Yotian the truth, afraid that the latter would get rid of him and take all the benefits for himself. Yu Yotian had predicted everything, but he had not expected Yi Chen to have trained the undying body. This mistake would not be changed by his will. The gold resonant radiance sword was like a hot knife cutting through butter. After cutting open the water dragon, its remaining power did not disappear as it landed heavily on Yu Yotian's chest. Chin. A burning spark appeared on Yu Yotian's chest as a wave of power rushed into his body through the mid-rank defensive item. He could no longer hold the hot blood in his mouth as he puked it out. Brat, you are so cunning. His body flying backward, Yu Yotian turned into a beam of light and tried to escape. You think you can run away? Yi Chen performed his movement art and chased after him. One was heavily wounded while the other was perfectly fine. The distance between them was getting shorter and shorter, and it was already within Yi Chen's attack range. Shoo! The sword chi shot out as Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. Yu Yotian seemed to have grown eyes on the back of his head as his body flashed once, avoiding the incoming sword chi. However, his speed was once again slowed down. No, if this continues, I will be beaten to death. I will have to use some essence blood and perform the blood escape. With that thought in mind, Yu Yotian's body shook once as his speed increased drastically. The Zhen Yuan that he had shot out contained a bright red color, and his face had turned even paler. The purity of Yi Chen's Zhen Yuan was not as pure as Yu Yotian's after all. Earlier, when the latter was heavily wounded, he could still catch up slowly. But now, the gap would only get bigger and bigger, and he would eventually lose his chance. Boom! The protective Zhen Yuan outside his body shattered, turning into countless light dots floating in the air. The broken pieces then merged together and formed into waves of sharp sword light, making him look like a sword god riding a sword. Go! The sword finger on his right hand suddenly pierced out, and the sword light shot out with Yi Chen. This kind of speed was already infinitely close to the speed of an attack. It was like a beam of light cutting through the sky, fast like a dream. What kind of secret art is this? Yu Youtian's face turned pale as he tried his best to perform the blood escape. A beam of bloodlight and a wave of sword light chased each other with all their might. Overall, Yi Chen's speed was still a bit faster. Before, the success rate of my sword light flying art was less than 10%. But now, it has reached 100% without any delay. Back in the Blood Demon battlefield, Yi Chen had been chased by 4 extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. When he was heavily wounded, he used the sword light flying art and escaped. After that, Yi Chen had been training the sword light flying art hard, hoping that one day he would be able to use it freely. And this goal had been achieved a long time ago. However, he never had the chance to use it, because it had to be used in a situation where he was running for his life or being chased. After all, using the sword light flying art required him to remove his protective Jin Yuan. The Blue Stone Town was located in the south of the mountain region, less than 30,000 miles away from the border. Unknowingly, the two had left the mountain region and arrived above a mountain range. Their speed was already more than 10 times faster than the speed of sound. If you kill me, you will be chased by all of the powerful warriors from the 9 Ghost cult. Your family and your martial school will be destroyed. Do you think it is worth it? Even if Yu Youtian was a Sea of Souls realm warrior and had trained his spirit body, the spirit blood inside his body was not endless. After half an hour, the blood inside his body was about to be used up. If it continued like this, even without Yi Chen chasing after him, he would not be able to live past tomorrow. Yi Chen sneered. The 9 Ghost cult had been destroyed decades ago. The remaining people are all like rats on the street. Do you think I would be scared? Huh. The remaining powerful warriors of our 9 Ghost cult are way beyond your imagination. Don't look for your own death and bring danger to your family. Leaving you alive would be the real danger. Damn. Even if I die, I want you to die with me. Yu Youtian gave up on running for his life. He was ready to die with Yi Chen while he still had some power left. The second he turned around, a cyan-colored sword light with a hint of gold flashed past. He felt his neck go numb as he saw a headless body far away from him. Woo! After killing Yu Youtian with one sword attack, Yi Chen let out a breath. He was indeed an outer master of the 9 Ghost cult, who was extremely hard to deal with. If it were not for the fact that he had a part of the undying body and pretended to be weak, he might not even be able to wound him badly, let alone kill him. Reaching out his hand, Yu Youtian's storage ring landed in his hand. Yi Chen did not even look at it before throwing it into his own storage ring. This should be the approaching Star Mountain, right? After this mountain, it would be the Star Regional Lake. I have not been to the Snake Island for a couple of years, so I wonder what kind of realm Wang Snake has reached. Back then, Yi Chen had a grudge against the floating island, but he was afraid that they would vent their anger on the Wang family. Therefore, he did not try to contact Wang Snake. After such a long time, the floating island should have already gotten over the grudge, so it was time for him to go to the Snake Island. He did not hurry on with his journey. Instead, he found a quiet mountain and sat down to recover his Jin Yuan. Hundreds of miles away from the Blue Rock town in the mountain region, a group of people in hats gathered together. Most of them were wearing white robes, but only 3 of them were in black. Did you bring the Wang family's blood? One of them asked. Yes. The leading man in white took out a transparent glass bottle from his storage ring, which was filled with a blood-red liquid. Taking over the glass bottle, the man in black opened it and smelled it, then passed it to the other 2 men next to him. After the 3 had smelled it, the one who spoke earlier said, "All right, we have smelled the Wang family's blood. As long as they are not more than 100,000 miles away, they will not be able to escape even if they are at the end of the world. Now, take us to the Snake Island. With the power of those 2 descendants of the Wang family, they might not be able to get more than 100,000 miles away in a couple of days. Follow me. Shoo, shoo, Shoo! The group of men in hats flew out, heading towards the south. Chapter 489. The Star Regional Lake was a continent-level lake. Even if it was not the top 3 in the whole True Spirit continent, it would at least be in the top 5. It had an area of millions of miles, which would be more than enough to put the whole South Rudra region in. And this was only a lake filled with water. As such a huge lake, there were countless small islands on the Star Regional Lake. They were like stars in the sky, and one could be seen after a certain distance. The Wind Island was a small island that was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Snake Island. There were millions of people living on the island, and it was quite prosperous. Inside a luxurious restaurant, Yi Chen sat by the window drinking tea while listening to the information exchange between the warriors. Have you heard? The Wang family on the Snake Island near the Black Dragon Empire had been killed. Not even a chicken or a dog was left alive. Even the Snake Island had lost a layer. Killed? Who would be so cruel? That Wang family was a rank 9 family after all. How could they be killed just like that? Plus, I heard that in the past couple of years, 2 young warriors had appeared in the Wang family, and they were both at the astral reaching realm. If a rank 8 martial institution wanted to take care of them, they would have to suffer a lot. You are a bit too short-sighted. For us, the Wang family is a huge beast. But for those powerful warriors, they could be killed just like that. Whatever the warriors in the restaurant were saying next, Yi Chen did not hear it, because he had already left the restaurant. In the sky, Yi Chen rode on his flying puppet, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound. Who did the Wang family offend to be killed? How is Wang Snake? There were a lot of questions in Yi Chen's head. He did not expect to hear the news of the Wang family being killed just when he was about to go to the Snake Island. Although he did not have much feelings for the Wang family, and his relationship with Wang Snake was not that deep either. But, the Wang family had given him a 3,000-year-old blood sunflower after all, and Wang Snake had been protected by him before. Without knowing why, Yi Chen thought of those men in hats. There was no reason for him to think of them. Wang Snake, you did not look like a short-lived person before. You should not die this easily, right? If you die, you will have nothing left. Wang Snake's potential was something that Yi Chen knew very well. He could tell a thing or two from Tuorbuku, and Wang Snake was even younger than him. Whoosh! The flying puppet shot forward as fast as a flash of light. From afar, Yi Chen saw the Snake Island. The Snake Island that used to be so tall was now shorter. It seemed like the top had been sliced off by a knife. However, judging from the cut marks, it was not a knife, but a claw. It was torn by a claw. A large number of martial artists stood on the uneven surface. You didn't see what happened that day. A group of people dressed in white and wearing bamboo hats surrounded the Wang family and killed every single one of them. Not even the children were spared. In the end, when they were about to leave, the leader of the group waved his hand and the Wang family on the Snake Island was directly wiped out and turned into what you see now. That's too cruel. They didn't even leave a complete corpse. Sigh, this world is a world where the strong are respected. The words of the strong are absolute. If they say they will destroy you, then they will destroy you. There is no room for discussion. Hey! A peak late astral reaching expert has arrived. A lot of people had noticed Yi Chen, who had a powerful qi. Yi Chen had heard everyone's conversation, especially the words men in white. If it were not a coincidence, then the men in white that he had met in the Bluestone town would be the main culprit who had killed the Wang family. This guess was not without reason. First of all, it was not that there were no people in white, but for a group of them to appear, the chance would be very small. Secondly, the men in white had the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline, while the Wang family had the multi-headed snake bloodline. The two of them were somehow related. Therefore, Yi Chen was pretty sure that it was those men in white who had killed the Wang family. This is indeed tricky. Those men in white are not easy to deal with, especially the leader. His power seems to be no weaker than Yu Youtian's. Yi Chen frowned. He knew how powerful Yu Youtian was. Perhaps he would not be afraid of one man in white, but a group of them would have to be careful. Plus, People with this kind of bloodline would be extremely powerful. Even Yi Chen did not have the confidence to win against that leader. Let's not worry about this for now. Let's look for some clues. Between his eyebrows, Yi Chen let out his soul power quietly. 30 miles. 50 miles. 80 miles. 90 miles. Not until he had let his soul power reach 90 miles deep into the Snake Island did Yi Chen start to feel that his soul power was not able to reach out anymore. Hey! There is a slight space vibration, but it is very weak. His expression changed as Yi Chen left the cut surface and came to the middle of the mountain, allowing his soul power to reach even deeper. Realizing that there was nothing wrong yet, he dove right into the bottom of the lake. There is a transporting stone door there. Yi Chen had finally found the source of the vibration. It was actually 360 miles below the cut surface. If it were not for the fact that Yi Chen's soul power was more powerful than most of the Sea of Souls realm warriors, he might not be able to find it. Thinking about it, it was not that the leading man in white did not use his soul power to search. It was just that the range of his soul power was limited, and the stone door was too deep, which was why he did not notice it. Of course, the most important reason was that Yi Chen had trained the void-shattering finger art, which contained the space mentality, which made him extra sensitive to the space vibration coming from the stone door. Without much hesitation, Yi Chen pushed his protective Jin Yuan and squeezed into the mud at the bottom of the lake, approaching the stone door. Soon, Yi Chen arrived in front of the stone door. The stone door was located in an underground stone room. There was no way to go down from the top. There was only a small hidden path on the side. The entrance of the small path was also at the bottom of the lake, covered with water plants. The path was not smooth all the way, and there were a lot of traps. It was also the reason why Yi Chen did not come in through the small path. It was not because he was afraid of the traps, but because he was afraid that the traps would cause too much noise. I wonder where this door leads to. Yi Chen thought about it again and again before stepping in. He believed that the Wang family would not set up a stone door that would trap people in a dangerous place, since there was no need for it at all. After all, how many people would be able to find it? The purpose of this stone door was most likely to transport important people away. Perhaps, Wang Snake was still alive. Woo! The swirl in the stone door spun once, and Yi Chen disappeared completely inside. Sister Mai, someone is coming through the stone door. In a dimly lit underground building, a teenager in black stared at the stone door in front of him with a cautious expression. It was indeed Wang Snake, whom Yi Chen had not seen for many years. Behind him, a cold-looking lady in black walked over. It was indeed another martial genius of the Wang family, Wang Mai. Back in the Star Regional Lake, her three-headed snake had attacked the big ship that Yi Chen and Wang Snake were on. Little snake, our Wang family might have been destroyed. The people coming here are most likely enemies. Later, I will hold them off. You run by yourself. Do not look back. There was a hint of sadness in Wang Mai's eyes, but it was soon replaced by determination. Wang Snake shook his head. No, Sister Mai, I want to face it with you. Stupid brat, what is the use of you staying here? It will only be one more corpse. Only by staying alive can you avenge my family. I believe you have the potential. You have reached the peak level early astral reaching realm from the condensing reality realm in just a couple of years. Compared to a couple of years ago, Wang Mai had matured quite a bit. Woo! Just as the two were talking, the swirl inside the conveyor door suddenly sped up, and a human figure walked out. Die! A six-headed snake shadow appeared behind Wang Mai and Wang Snake. The 12 snake heads bit towards the incoming person, attacking fiercely. Boom! The incoming person threw out a punch, and the two backed out continuously. It's me. After throwing out a punch to push back the two, Yi Chen said. Wang Snake was overjoyed. Brother Yi. It really is Brother Yi. Sister Mai, he is not an enemy. He is my savior, Brother Yi. A confused look flashed past Wang Mai's face, but she nodded and said calmly, I know. Yi Chen looked around and realized that he was underground. The walls were inlaid with glowing crystals, which made it possible for him to see his own fingers in this dark environment. He was in a stone hall, which looked very ancient and elegant. It seemed to have been here for a long time. Wang Snake, what is this place? This is our Wang family's forbidden place. Brother Yi, is our Wang family still here? Wang Snake asked carefully. In the past few years, he had developed feelings for the Wang family. Except for a few people, the others were very nice to him, especially the family head, Wang Heng. At the side, Wang Mai also looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen was silent for a while, shook his head, and said in a low voice, "The Wang family has been razed to the ground. I only found out about it by chance, and then I found the conveyor door. Grandpa, Uncle Ju, are they all dead?" Wang Snake's eyes were filled with tears. "The dead cannot be resurrected. It is already a great fortune for you to be alive. You must cherish this life, and when you are strong enough, you can take revenge." Yi Chen comforted him. "I know, I will." Wang Shi clenched his fists tightly. Not only was the main family destroyed, before the main family was destroyed, his previous family was also destroyed, not even the fowls and dogs were spared. These days, he felt very painful every moment. Fortunately, Wang Mai was with him, she was his only relative. The conveyor door's light dimmed, and gradually disappeared. Yi Chen knew that the conveyor door's original energy had been used up. After all, this conveyor door was very low level compared to the conveyor doors Yi Chen had seen. There was a limit to the number of people, and it was impossible to teleport without limit. "How did you escape?" Yi Chen asked. Wang Snake explained, "After my previous family was destroyed, Grandpa Wang Heng forced me and Sister Mai to enter the conveyor door. It was a one-way conveyor door, and we could not teleport back. There was also a limit to the number of people who could enter. It seemed that there was only one person left. Then can you tell me about the Wang family's secrets and the cause?" This was what Yi Chen wanted to know the most. Otherwise, he would not be able to make a plan. Wang Snake looked at Wang Mai, and Wang Mai nodded and said, "Let me tell you. Anyway, the Wang family only exists in name, and there is nothing to hide. There are some things that you are not clear about. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories,